What's good? What's good? What's good, family? It's your boy, the Wallstreet Trappin, man. Welcome to Trappin Tuesday, episode 123. Hey, man, first and foremost, man, we just want to say thank y'all for just tuning in this week, man. Listen, you could have been anywhere doing anything, but you decided to be here with us. And so for that, myself, my team, we just want to say thank you, because without you all, we are nothing, but with you all, we are everything. All right, man, Jose, I have this idea. I've been watching this show, and the show had me focused on legacy. And legacy has to be intentional. And so I asked everybody that's watching this, what will be your impact for your family 50 years from now? What will they say about you? Now, I know we're going to crack jokes but like realistically, what will your family say about you 50 years from now? With legacy, we must be willing to plant the lifetime seeds now that will harvest generationally. We must be willing to plant the seeds that put us in position for prosperity. I'm talking legacy. I'm talking about having the vision and the faith that you can create something that you have not seen and leave it to a people who you have not met. We talking legacy. Legacy is about consistent sacrifice. But along the journey, we are able to indulge in some of the harvest. Legacy is created by those who are intentional, but legacy is lost by those who neglect. Legacy is created by those who are intentional, but legacy is lost by those who neglect. The biggest part of legacy that I've been watching, Jose, is not the money itself. It is about the wisdom to play the game. I want to say Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is a principal thing, so in all thy getting, get understanding. And the reason why for that's important for me, Jose, because you only gain wisdom through experience. You can't read a book and say, I got wisdom. You have to read the book, apply the information, see how the information that you apply reacts to your execution, and through that experience, you gain wisdom. But wisdom is the byproduct of understanding all the components that took place during the process. Right? So that's why that scripture makes sense. Wisdom is a principal thing, so in all thy getting, get understanding. Because without understanding, you cannot complete the equation to gain wisdom. So in order to actually create legacy, we must experience things that the people before us, watch this. I like it when it comes like this. Watch this. So when the generations behind you see you will they see you as leverage or will they see you as the liability? They see you as leverage when you position them for events that they do not even know will take place. Let me show you how this is powerful. How many of us always say this statement? I wish I would have known this then, which means no one before you positioned you to take advantage or be aware of a situation you are currently going through. Because had somebody positioned you for it, you would have already been equipped with the tools to understand how to navigate this specific situation, which means the person before you wasn't actually the asset, which means they didn't give you leverage. So legacy is a byproduct of consistent leverage from the people who came before you. So in essence, legacy isn't just about money, it's about positioning future generations for events that you know are coming, but they have not seen. Think about this, Jose. Think about this for a second. Watch this. Legacy. As the Israelites leave Egypt, right? They were out there for generations. Watch this. Certain generations had navigated the desert for 10, 20, 30 years. Then there's another generation that was born in the desert. Hear me. Hear me. There's one generation that know what it was like to be in Egypt and leave, go into the desert to look for a land that was promised. They learned how to navigate the desert. Even though they were ungrateful, they learned how to navigate the desert through leadership from Moses. Why? Because Moses had already spent 40 years in the desert prior to coming get them. So he had wisdom and understanding on how to navigate a dry place. A place who he was going to bring some people with that he already had experience on how to navigate. So what happens is he was already positioned to teach them how to pivot for the promise. Okay, so hear me. So now what happens is when you're born in the desert, and then you have a generation who've already navigated the desert, the generation that knows how to navigate to the desert can equip the generation that's born in the desert how to survive. So they can position them for what? Windstorms. They can position them for what? Snakes in the desert. They can position them on when to drink water. They can position them on when to eat. The thing I want to illuminate here is, are you navigating the desert with a vision for the promise, but what are you doing to leverage the people behind you to be in position? Remember, legacy is intentional, but legacy is lost. Come on, y'all. Come on. Sacrifice. Another situation. Abraham understood the promise that was within him, that was given to him. He understood that promise. So when God asked him to sacrifice Isaac, he understood that this was part of the promise. It was necessary. The thing that happened on the way was, in the minute when he was about to execute the circumcision, because watch this, Isaac in essence was a necessary circumcision to get to the promise. So do you have faith to oblige Do you have faith to do the necessary and then trusting that the other side is what you expect? Now watch this. Abraham was about to execute, and then God says, Abraham, look. But he was faithful in what? Being willing to sacrifice the necessary. Watch this, Jose. Some of us are so caught up into where we are, we cannot move. We cannot pivot because we are not willing to circumcise the thing that's holding us down. We're not willing to cut off the flesh of the thing, the person, the relationship, the job, the mindset that is keeping us in captivity. But here's what God told Abraham. Circumcision is necessary for you at 90, any slave you have, any newborn, or anybody, man, that comes thereafter in order for you to what? Inherit the promise. So circumcision is necessary. So Isaac, in essence, was a form of what? Circumcision. God just replaced Isaac with but he was willing at 90 to do what? Circumcise. In order to create wealth, in order to graduate that to legacy, we must be consistently willing to circumcise. And what happens is we get so attached to people, we don't want to cut them off. And now we realizing that the people we don't want to cut off is the reason why we not walking into promise. So before we go any further, Jose, tonight, I'm going to ask you, before we navigate into 2025, which is the promised land for some of us, what is our Isaac? Listen, we've been here. The promise is there. He's told you what it is. He's giving you the vision. You in your sleep. You woke up out your sleep. You say, God gave me the vision. You telling everybody what is next. God told me this. I'm going to do this. You got these big plans. You ain't just come up with them plans by yourself. It's been planted in you. It's been planted, but you got to what? What is your Isaac? What is your Isaac? And watch this. This so cool. This so essential right here. Jose, watch this. It's not even that we always have to cut them off or cut it off. We just got to be willing to do it without question. Okay, let me say it again. Jose, sometimes what we think we gotta cut off, we actually don't gotta cut it off. We just gotta be willing to cut it. Because before we come down, Abraham, in motion, I was obedient enough to say, hey, you got to go. You got to be obedient enough to say circumcision is necessary for me to get the promise. Circumcision is necessary for me to get the promise. Am I obedient enough to kill Isaac to get the promise? Because for some of us, it's a hard pill to swallow. When he says, watch this. Think about this. Let's just think about this for a second, Jose. Abraham now, so the first son he have, he's in his 90s when he have Ishmael. So he's well into his hundreds when he have Isaac. Now, let's think about this now. Let's just think about this. I want, and we're going to put this into retrospect, Jose. Watch this. God says to Abraham, God tells us that Abraham, his faith, because of his faith, he is considered righteous. Hear me. Watch how we walk this through. Because of his faith, he is considered righteous, Jose. And so we understand him as who? The father of faith, right? But we talked about this earlier. There were times on Abraham's journey when he did what? Question. There were times on his journey where he was what? Disobedient. So how can a man who laughed at God, questioned God, defied God, still be considered the father of faith? It was because even in his wrongs, he still pursued. Watch this. From experience, he rectified his behavior. God understands that we are made of flesh, so we are going to what? Be human. But in Abraham's heart is why he was considered righteous. Because on the journey, sometimes our heart and our flesh don't be on the same accord. Your heart won't do something. Your heart know it's wrong, but you haven't built up the callous yet to fight the flesh. It's why I tell us to always kill the flesh. Now, I'm not even talking about sex here. I'm just talking about things that you won't do on a day-to-day that takes you off the journey. Remember, legacy is intentional. It is destroyed by those who neglect it. It is destroyed by those who neglect it. Okay, let's get back to where we're going here. So watch this. At 90 plus years old, Abraham at 90 has a son. But God had already told him what? I'm going to give you what's necessary. Imagine raising this son up to a certain age, and then God gives you Isaac. Circumcision number one. Isaac, Hagar, and Ishmael get casted out. But God says what? Hey, I got y'all. Don't trip. So Abraham then has Isaac. At the age of maybe 12, 13, God sends him on a mountain. Now think about this. My first boy is gone. My second boy, who I got attached to, I'm well within my hundreds, but God told him, your descendants will be as many as the stars. But Abraham was cool with what? Circumcision. Isaac, Ishmael leaving was a what? Circumcision. Isaac being willing to cut him down without questioning, with faith, saying that God told me my descendants is going to be as many as the stars, but right now, all I got is two. All I got is two. So I got to be willing to cut one of my two so that I can get plenty. You got to be willing to cut at least half of what you have so you can have plenty. Are you willing to cut at least? Are you willing to cut at least half of what you have? Because the promise is plenty. And so the question to you tonight is, what is your Isaac? What is it that is waiting for you to cut it off, that you are holding on to for dear life? You are having this debate in your mind. Should I cut this off? I can't cut this off. Watch this. But we've been together so long. I got so much invested. I got so much money invested. I got so much time invested. I've been with him since I grew up. We teenage lovers. I done put everything I had into this. That's my friend. That's my mama. That's my daddy. This job, I've been here 10, 15 years. This the city I was born and raised in. I won't move, but I can't. I'ma wait till the kid finish high school. I'ma wait till they finish college. I'ma wait till this happen. I'ma wait till... What is your Isaac that you might not actually have to cut off, but you are 100% willing to cut off so that you can get to the promise to create legacy? Let me say that again. What is it that you have, that you must be willing to cut off, that you might not have to cut off, so that you can be positioned for the promise of prosperity? It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper, episode 123. Jose, let's get to it, brother.
Yeah.
Let's get to it, brother. How we feel, bro?
Man, I see what you doing again, brother. Look, is it the Christmas spirit? Is that what we doing?
Nah, man. It's just what we in.
I'm in the Christmas spirit.
I mean, I love Christmas.
You know
Christmas time is here.
No, you got to hit the Temptations Christmas jump. You know what I'm saying?
I like that song.
Nah.
You don't like that song?
No.
I love that song.
Sing it. Let me hear it.
Christmas time is here. Seasonal beware. I love that song. Yeah, I love it, dog.
I mean, I know the joint, but you know what I'm saying? That Silent Night Temptations joint.
Silent.
You know what I'm saying?
Holy.
Bruh, you be in front of the fireplace with the lady, y'all got matching pajamas on.
I've never done that, Jose.
Me either. That's the plan this year, though.
I've never experienced that a day in my life. So
matching pajamas.
I can't, I've never had a matching pajama, dog.
You want to, though?
You did 2 years ago with me.
Does my daughter count?
Yeah, nah, baby girl don't count.
Yeah, she don't count. I've never had matching pajamas, dog.
Shout out to the matching pajama ministry.
Why is that a thing?
It just so you got your boo around Christmas time, you know what I'm saying? Because you know most people don't make it. This is the end of cuffing season, so like people don't make the roster. So what I'm saying is...
Also having a roster is a thing.
So what I'm saying is...
I would think it's the opposite. I think during Christmas time, like, you pick somebody.
No.
Why?
Because what happens is if you don't want them in your life, y'all know, chat, talk to me. If you don't want them in your life, you cut them off before Christmas so you ain't got to buy them a gift.
I've never been that way.
I haven't either. I'm just talking about what they talk about in these streets.
I've always been a good gift giver. Like, I've never had a problem with getting gifts.
Even when you was broke?
Yeah, because when I was broke, I knew how to do crime.
I didn't do crime. I just shopped at Big Lots.
Bro, when you listen to me. So my perspective was always like, I'm going to double down because if I get you the gift for Christmas, like that here's what
Wait, you was doing B&Es? What we was doing?
here's what I understood though. I understood that everybody had a roster.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like,
yep.
I was never naive that the fact that, like, I was on somebody's roster too. I think our biggest issue, and we talking years, you know what I'm saying? I go, like, the biggest issue is you thinking like you the only one.
Narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah,
back
like, I got the best,
Yeah.
I do this better, It's a negative.
Yeah, nah.
So I always position myself to just move up on the roster. Even if it wasn't like a one, you know, like I wasn't tripping. So like I'm gonna get you some perfume. If nothing else, I'm gonna get you some perfume.
Okay.
Top tier perfume. That's always a go-to, right?
I just got into perfume.
Nice earrings. You know what I'm saying? And it depends on like where we were. Like if we was kicking it heavy or we was here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like I never tripped the fact that I probably was on somebody's roster too.
Yeah.
So I wasn't tripping because I knew most dudes did the thing that you said. Right?
You was trying to get him out.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop. No, I'm trying to move up a little. I got him. I'm up one.
It's a race.
I'm up one.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm up one.
Move your feet, do shit.
I'm up one.
Okay.
I'm even on it. Hey, what y'all cooking? Because I'm in New Orleans at the time. So it's like, hey, what y'all cooking? I'm going to pull up. Now, you can't come by my people.
Okay. Now we cooking.
Stipulations here. You couldn't come by my people,
Yeah.
but I'm going to pull up.
Yeah.
If you want me to. Man, let me pull up. Let me come get a plate. Let me come kick it with you. Oh, you going to come? Man, I ain't tripping. I ain't doing it. I'm chilling. I'm chilling with my people for a minute. I'm going to go pull up.
My last question is, what y'all cooking for Christmas around New Orleans?
The Christmas stuff.
Is it gumbo? No, don't say Christmas. Dog, stop saying that stuff. You
Bro,
like,
everybody cook the same thing
no,
for Christmas.
they don't, bruh. No. Y'all make fruitcake?
Depending on what house you go to.
For real?
Yeah.
I thought I had them.
No, depending on like if we go by G Mom house, she got a whole table full of cakes. She got what she got, G? She might have a fruit cake, but I know for sure she gonna have Sakatumi cake. She got pecan pie, lemon crunch. She gonna have a whole table full of cakes. Cupcakes. It depends. Everybody cook the same thing, bro.
Gingerbread cookies?
Depends. It depends on how many kids coming over.
Bruh, well, I'm making my first gingerbread house this season.
Bro, you on this old in love stuff, bro. Like, come on, bro.
And the matching pajamas.
Come on,
Trappin'
bro.
Tuesday
Bro, you on
123.
this old in love stuff, bro. Nobody not even on that type of time over here. What are you doing? You want to tear everybody here in love. This dude here, bro.
I just want to make sure we know what I'm saying.
What you're not making sure of anything.
Christmas time is here.
That don't mean Christmas time in love. What are you talking about? Matching pajamas, jello, all this stuff you talking about? Anyway, shout out to our people, man. Troy Turner was good. Sir James was good. Liz Galvin was good. Shamika White was good. Troy Turner was good. Andrea was good. Kima was good. Fiona was good. Rams, I see you, fam. Kima, Brandon Foster, Shazam X was good. Oliver Webb was good. Autumn was good. Ted Cocky was good. Tamara was good. K Mason was good. Kelsey was good. Charlotte Strong was good. Chocolates, okay, was good. Let's get it. Cassidy was good. Maya Holmes was good. Double R was good. Charlotte was good. Tori was good, family. I can't see y'all. Y'all going too fast. Now, Carolina Blue was good. I can't see. Uzi Pistol. Wow.
Yo, somebody's name is I can't believe I'm about to get a divorce on that or something.
Somebody's
like that.
name is I'm about to get a divorce.
I'm about to get a divorce, like or something like that. And I shouted them out. Boy, they said something, so I had to respond.
Leon was good. Larry Morgan was good. Carrot Souffle was good. Y'all too fast. Y'all too fast. All right, so, man, Jose, I had a cool weekend this week, bro.
You been jet setting?
Yeah, it's been whamming out,
living
bro.
on a plane.
Huh? I went to Gracie's.
I
wanted to bring you. I should have brought you one back, man.
I was hating on Gracie's.
Pastor Keon told me. So I went to Pastor Keon's church. He has such a phenomenal message. His message was behind, I can't think of the name of the message, but I remember he was talking about like Mary having the baby. And he used this scenario. He said, like, most people talking about Mary, but what happened if your 14-year-old, 15-year-old daughter came home, 16-year-old daughter came home right now today, told you she was a virgin, but told you she was pregnant? And then told you she was pregnant with God and that she's actually still a virgin. Would you believe her? And I said, oh, man. That's a different type of question. So I got a question for you, Jose.
I don't even want to think about it, bro.
Why?
The hypothetical, I haven't. My daughter.
I mean, you talk about matching pajamas and all this little hypothetical
my
stuff.
My daughter just turned 20.
What if she came home? What if she came home,
right,
and said, "Pop, I'm pregnant, but it's from God."
I might believe her, but I'm not even going to do it. Because she's on the spectrum.
Real, I don't.
She fluid. Let's say that when I say the spectrum.
But what would you say if she said, "Hey"?
I had to do like an interrogation, like, you know what I'm saying?
How you interrogate God?
No. Wait, we're not interrogating God, I'm interrogating her.
All she can say is,
how he tell you?
He
sent you a text?
He came up on me.
What? He what?
He came up on me.
How he do it? Sneak?
God, I don't know. She woke up one morning and boop. That's what they say. He said he came up on her.
Look, man. The Bible is closed. We ain't writing no more books. It's 66.
God always writing. We just ain't put him.
It ain't going.
So here's the thing. Now, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
So watch this though. Is it true that you think most people right now will be like the Pharisees?
Yeah. Hands down.
Because right now, if you tell, like, listen to me. Okay, we're gonna finish. We gotta talk about. But watch this. Right now, if somebody came to you and said, "I am God in the flesh,"
came.
Right now. Like, I'm talking about your daughter no more.
Let me be honest with you. They would have to come. First off, he would have to come and do something like touch the people because they're going to think it's AI. If they see video on YouTube.
So that's what I'm saying. So here's what I'm saying. And I'm not, please God, I'm not being blasphemous. I'm just, I'm just putting ourselves in that situation.
You know how we do.
Like, what if, like, God came down in the form of a person, and he said, all right, I'm going to get this one more shot. All right, I'm going to come down in the form of a man. And he started doing the things that, like, Jesus is doing. Like healing people with his hand and healing lepers and, let's say not lepers, let's say curing people from AIDS.
Lepers
like somebody got AIDS and God's like, hey, you don't got AIDS no more.
Or paraplegics.
A paraplegic like, hey, you can walk now. What if he start turning? You know what I'm saying? Like, would we believe it?
I'm about to say.
Or will we be like the Pharisees?
I think 20% will believe.
You think 20% will believe? I don't even think 20% will believe.
I think, no. I think 20%.
I think a hot 3.
3%?
100%.
I was being a little bit too lenient.
You being like Abraham. God, if you see 50 men, all right, not 50, 30. Okay, not 30. 10. Okay, not 10, 5.
Because when he come back, though, people going to be like, nah, that ain't him. That's a good question.
It's a good question, God. Jose, I just thought about that. They will call him a scammer. You scamming people.
Hands down. Dog, Twitter, X, Twitch, YouTube,
TikTok.
videos, they be like, nah, who this dude?
They will put him in jail. And they will crucify him. Would I believe it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because it took a lot for Pete. But here's the thing. What we have to do? Yeah, like what would he do? What would he? Because he did something. So some people he did, like Peter, he went straight to Peter. People like Matthew just witnessed it. You feel what I'm saying? So some people witnessed it and some were a direct, like, boom. So what happens to all the people who are saying they believe in God, they trust God, and then God comes? And again, this is, I'm not saying this, I'm just, God, I'm not, so for the people who think, don't do that, Trap, don't say that, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what is this? It's a question, it's a scenario. Would we believe? And Shazam X, he said, boy, they got so many false prophets out here right now.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm saying it.
False prophets,
but
AI.
they been had
We got
false
drones
prophets.
in the sky. Like, we got all this different stuff, and people ain't gonna believe what they see on their phone or on their TV, bro.
Huh?
She
You don't think the Pharisees had something? Like all of them, like Nicodemus was, so why? So listen, how many people say they got a relationship, but really got, this is my point exactly. This is my point exactly. Right? Like Nicodemus was torn between the two. Nicodemus was like, hey, I got religion, but hey, I believe. But he was like, ah. He was like, ah. Yeah.
Bro, they still think Jamie Foxx a clone. And he just did the Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Because his tattoo on the back of his head off. I'm just saying, bruh.
I don't know, but I'm just saying,
that's a real question.
And now listen, what if they say something like, there's a man in Texas that the man in Texas cured 8 people of AIDS by touching them.
Yeah, see, they won't believe it. Then they say, oh, he levitated. They're like, man, Chris Brown just levitated in Africa.
And then they'll come back and say, hey, this man just spit on the fire and it went out.
And then, okay, so the follow-up question, are we too far gone on where we at to even
This is why I'm
believe?
asking, are we?
That's good, bro. I'm just
You
saying.
feel me?
I'm just
You
saying.
feel me? I'm a fast. What if I fast on it? Like, God, give me a sign. He like, hey, I done cured 8 people. I done raised up. I done give you a sign. Hey, question. Huh? All right, turn it up a little, so I can see how many people in the chat, Jose. How many people in the chat? I can't see it.
Oh, we got 3320.
Come on, Jose.
3320.
Come on.
Make sure y'all share that out to your group chat.
on.
Share that out.
All right, man, let's get to it, man. All right, we 45 minutes in. All right, man, listen. Let's start with our, we got some stuff to talk about tonight, Jose. That was a great way to start off, right? If God showed up right now in the flesh, Jose, would we believe it's him? Sheesh. And here's the crazy part about it. The crazy thing about it is somebody just said, and I was going to say that, because God, miracles happen every day, bro.
Every day, B.
You know, my airport situation was a whole miracle.
Bruh, that right there.
That was a miracle, bro. Can we tell him the airport situation? We can
You
tell
told
the
him
airport
already.
situation.
But
I told him?
Yeah, you told him.
But no, you never heard the airport situation? So here's the airport situation. A certain
Story
airport
time
I
with
went
Trap.
through. Huh? A certain airport situation I went through, I had something I wasn't supposed to have. I didn't know I had what I didn't supposed to have on me. It was late at night, like one of the last flights out. I was traveling to a place and got through the airport, got through the airlines, got in a rental car to get my plug for my phone and realized what I wasn't supposed to have was in my book sack. Carry on. I got searched twice.
And it went through
wasn't
the metal
found.
detector. I mean, the thing.
I got searched twice. It wasn't found. Went through the metal detector. Didn't go off. Put it on. Put it in the head thing. Opened it. Took it down and said, no, let me just put it under my seat. Put it under my seat. Went in there. Didn't see it. Got the rental car. Got in the rental car. Said, man, I need my charger because my phone about to die. Going to get the charger. Said, oh,
Didn't even have to look. Just like, I fit, what the?
Bro, I went in there, I was like, let me get this. I said, oh, shit, what the hell?
See, you ain't tell Bernard what the whole joint is. I can tell by his face. He's just like, oh, he had some,
No.
some pills or
No.
something.
There you go. It's a jelly donut with a lot of jelly. Extended jelly. It actually turned into a gusher, yeah? It turned into a gusher. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo. I called George and immediately started crying. I said, bro. I said, cuz, it was almost over. Cuz said, what? I told it to him. He said, bruh.
Now, what's worse, though, for the people on here, he told me the story, too. Then we traveling somewhere, and, you know, he ain't got, like, the pre-check and the clear and all that. So I'm in the lounge, and he can't call me. He's like, bruh, you remember what I told you before? It didn't happen again. They got me locked. I was like, bruh, stop playing.
With a pick.
He said, nah, I'm just playing, though.
It happened to me again with a pick. Oh, I called Jose. Jose was like, what? But it happened to me to, listen to this. To my next destination, leaving where I was at, I had the metal pick and the thing went off for the metal pick.
But
in the same airport.
But not the thing. But not the other thing.
Not the jelly donut.
Not the jelly donut.
The jelly donut didn't go off, but the pick went off.
Crazy.
That's a miracle.
Miracles happen every day, B.
I called George and said, this is a real live miracle, cuz. If one ain't never happened to me, this was a real, imagine me going back to jail for a jelly donut.
No more Trappin' Tuesday.
Nothing. I
no
can't
Patreon.
even beat that. The jelly donut is illegal. Man, what Trappin' jail for? Man, they had a jelly donut with extra jelly. Damn. Anyway, let's go. And that's why for me, I'm gonna tell you something. For me, that is why nobody can tell me God ain't real. Because here's the thing, Jose, I don't know nobody else's interaction and relationship. But I know for a fact.
And the crazy part, people asking, how'd you get back with the jelly donut? Oh, it
I
stays
didn't.
where it's at.
Yeah, I bring it.
We donate the jelly donut to Dunkin' Donuts.
I asked the dude outside, hey, you want a jelly donut, dog? You look a little hungry, bro.
Yeah.
You look a little hungry, dog. Yeah, you can have this jelly
He said
donut.
you were
I'm not
fasting.
even eating sugar no more. I don't want sugar no more. Anyway, let's go, man. Y'all know how we do, man. We start off with the mantra. I just want to tell y'all again, man, I love y'all. Jose, we got through this year, bruh. You know, we're a couple episodes away. Let's get it, man. I am a certified Wall Street trapper. I'm confident in my ability to make great investments. The stock market is a machine that prints money, and I'm more than capable of operating this machine. Not only will I free myself, but my family will eat for a lifetime based on the information I applied today. I'm a money maker and a wealth builder. Today, I break all the chains that anchor me to that poverty mindset. My ancestors will smile now because I have turned our last name into an asset. My family's purchasing power will increase indefinitely. Today, I make the declaration that no longer will I be a slave to money. No longer will the generations behind me inherit lack. No longer will I submit to selling my time for money. I am a first-generation millionaire. I am an architect of my family's legacy. I am a certified Wall Street trapper, and Wall Street looks like us now. Let's go, y'all.
What you thinking about? I know
Man,
sometimes you be reading the comments.
I just was thinking, I just was reflecting. One of the things I found to be really good, Jose, in this phase of my life is reflection. I think one of the things that keeps me positioned and one of the things that makes me love God so much is when I reflect on what he's done for me. Like I had put a post up today about my dog Calvin. His name was Calvin Dill. And I met Calvin in prison. And we just got clicked since prison. And I've told the story a few times about when me and my homie hit a lick together and I miscalculated and dude wound up getting up on me with the pistol and my dog, like right in the nick of time. That was God right there. My dog said, hey, check it. I can't stop you from killing him. But if you kill him, you're going to be right on side. So, best decision here is to let him go. And I promise you, bro, like, we're going to let that go. We're going to call it a step. We're going to, dude, let me go, bro. It's my dog, Calvin Dale. He was out of Magnolia. That was the dude I posted today. That was him. That was my dog, bro. He passed away from sickle cell. And so one of the things that happened was, I remember after that lick, we kept whatever we had, but we didn't get what I was about to get. And then I gave Kelvin everything. I said, say, bro, I'm done, dog. He was like, man, you tripping, bro. Man, you know, this is what we do, bro. Like, because I was always like the mastermind and map stuff out. And he was just like on go. He was with it. And I remember his girl at the time, I remember we went to the house and he opened the door, bro, and she bust the piss out him with an umbrella in his head. Pop! And she said, your stupid ass out there with Free risking your life. Free ain't got no goddamn kids. And I was crying. He said, bro, that's your problem, your goof ass. You always laughing, bro, because it was just funny how she bopped the piss out of him. You know how your girl do something, you just be like, bro, if you was a dude, bro, we would be fighting, bro. That's the look he had in his face, you feel me? But I remember he went to go do something, and it didn't work out the way he wanted it to go. And I remember he got jammed up, and I just felt the guilt of that. I felt the guilt of that because I know that mapping stuff out like that wasn't his strong suit. Like he was the hitter, but he didn't think things all the way through. And I remember just like being so heavy on myself. Damn, my dog got jammed up. You know what I'm saying? I could have been there. I wasn't, really like holding myself accountable and at fault for him getting caught up. Cause he asked me, like, bro, come hit this last one. I was like, man, I ain't doing that, man. He's like, bro, I just need you, bro. I need you to put your eyes on it. His exact words to me, I need you to put your eyes on it. I was like, bro, if I do that, then I'm falling short. You know what I'm saying? And my dog called me and he said, he took that grief off me. And I said, say, bro, I said, bro, I'm sorry. And he was like, nigga, what you sorry for? I was like, bro, like I let you down. He was like, man, you ain't let me down. I'm a grown man, dog. I made that decision. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, nah, bro, like I know for a fact, like it would have went a different way if I was with you. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, bro, you tripping. There's some stuff I done did without you. Like, this me. I gotta hold this one. And literally about maybe 6 months later, he passed away in prison because he had sickle cell. And his body used to hurt. And the people in the prison thought he was faking because dudes in jail be just playing games all the time to do something. He was like, bro, I'm not faking. And something happened where he wound up, I don't know what happened, man, but he wound up passing away in jail. I think his family then was trying to like suited people or something. It just didn't work out, bro. And I was so pissed off at that. I was so pissed off at that, bro. And I held that. He came to me in a dream last night. That's why I posted him. Came to me in a dream last night. And I hadn't dreamed him in so long, bro, like years. And it was me and him back in the Magnolia laughing, you know, and just, you know, I miss that dude, bro. Because he told me, he used to always tell me, bro, like, you gonna make real niggas look good, dog. You know, he used to always tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to, you know, I always had this thing, like, if I say I ain't doing something, I ain't doing it. If I had vision to do certain things, like, you know, getting into the auction and doing things, and he used to be like, bro, like, he was like, bro, you just got this vision, bro. He's like, bro, you gonna make real niggas look good one day. I'm telling you. He used to always tell me that, bro. And so the day I reached out to his sister, because he had 2 kids, and his sister gave me, you know, their mama's number, their Instagram. So I reached out to both of them today because I just want, you know, see how they doing and maybe just bless them for Christmas, you know what I'm saying? See what I can. But I miss my dog, man. Like, you know, it's just one of those situations, bro. Like, there's ride or die people for you, and then there's people who will risk their life for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like, he put his life on the line for me, dog. Like if he don't save my life in that moment, there is no Wall Street travel, dog. Cause nigga could have splattered my brains right there, dog. Like my head turned, bro. Nigga right behind me. Cause I turned around, that bit right in my face. He could have not hesitated. He could have just turned me a face point blank, bro. Like I turned around, I was like, oh shit, damn. My first thing was, damn, this how I'm about to go out. And I heard my dog voice, bro. And I was like, he was like, bro, listen.
That's crazy.
He's like, I can't tell you not to kill my dog, but you gonna be dead right on side of him, bro. The best thing for us to do right now, you let him go. Whatever he about to get, we gonna let it stay here. We gonna fall back. Dude, let me go, bro. And so that was a real, like, that was one of them moments in my life, dog, that really, like, changed the perspective on my life. Like, I got, you know, it's a saying in the street, bro, like, I got caught my drawers down. You know what I'm saying? I got caught my drawers down, dog, and, like, my dog saved my life, bro. And so, like, I really felt like I let him down when he went to jail. I felt like I owed him. I felt like I owed him because he really, he really saved my life. Like, without him doing that, bro, I don't become a father. Without him doing that, I don't even know about Wall Street trapping. Without him doing that, there is none of this, bro. Without him doing that, there is none of this, bro. And so, bro, I'm so freaking, like, when he came to me in my dream last night, bro, we was just sitting on, we was running it, dog, like, bro, I woke up so happy. I woke up smiling like, damn, my dog. And so, yeah, man, like, that was just a situation for me right there, dog. And I just want to shout out my dog, Calvin Dill. You know what I'm saying? I love you, dog. If you hear me, I miss you, bro. And I just wish you could see me now, bro. Like, I feel like I'm making real niggas look good right now. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to my dog, Calvin, man. All right, man,
That was heartfelt. You don't try to, you know what I'm saying? We all teary-eyed out this, Drake.
My man. So let's celebrate George, man. George's birthday was the other day.
And George said that probably was supposed to have been the lick he was supposed to be on.
It was.
Word.
It was the lick. It was the lick I was supposed to bring George on. But the reason why I didn't bring George on the lick was because I didn't want to answer to that nigga mama. If something went wrong. If something go wrong, I gotta answer to George's mama. The crazy part about it, and here's how that's God's blessing. Had that been George, and the man would have probably got hit in reflection and hit me in the back of my head. You feel me? It just could have went so many different ways. Because George is a different person. My dog was a different person. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to George, man. Today George's birthday, y'all. If everybody in the chat just get George $1. He's 50. What? You 51? Damn, I thought you were 50.
He said, give me $51.
George is 51, y'all. So let's give George $1. So that's George got. So everything from Miss Cashmere gave George $19. So y'all got 90. Y'all got 30 seconds to 1 minute to give George something for his birthday, man. If y'all don't mind. George is 51 years old. Let's give George $1. We got 4,200 people in the chat. So let's give George something. Somebody say, Trap, we crying right now. How you go from we crying?
I told you, the transition is like, you just drop us off on the bus stop.
I say, bro, we crying right now, bro. We not even about to, what? All right, so let's give George. Everybody give George. If y'all don't mind, bro, let's give George, something for his birthday. It'll go directly to him. We appreciate it. Yep. Nakia Simmons gave George $1.99. Autumn Phoenix give George $1.99. Leon gave George. Yep. We got 4,200 people in the chat. Let's just look out for my cuz. Y'all just showing me love us. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's go. Let's get to it, man. We give 1 minute to give George $1.99. Somebody said, yep, Trap, what a transition, bro. That was a... I ain't realize it was that kind of... Damn.
I try to tell you. We got the birthday music from Tootie. You know what I'm saying?
That was a hell of a transition, right?
It was crazy. Bama's had tears in their eyes.
They like,
happy birthday, George.
Let me get the snot out first.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it, man. We rocking off of George. Throughout the show, man, we thank y'all for blessing George, man. $9.99 from Tori Walker, $10 here, Jeremiah. What's up, Jeremiah? Tia Brown, $2, $19, 99 cents, $1, $2, $99, $2, $5. There you go, man. Let's shout out to George, man. George said he appreciate y'all, $5. Let's go, man. We appreciate y'all for celebrating my cousin, man. All right, so Jose, I want to start off with a video. We have a video that I want y'all to see. It's 5 minutes long. It's not about me, but I'm gonna get into it because it's important. And I'm gonna tell y'all why I did this. I want everybody to watch this. So here's what's happening, man. I think in my mind that the people are so excited about the market, and when everybody gets excited about the market, I get a little cautious. And so I'm gonna show y'all a video, and the video will break down the roaring 20s, which will break down the 1929 crash. And I want y'all to see this for a reason. Let's get to it right quick, Tootie.
In 1932, during the low point of the Depression, around 15 million Americans were out of work. The stock market crash of 1929 did not cause the Great Depression, but it remains a powerful symbolic starting point to the most significant economic disaster of the 20th century.
All right, stop right there,
Dark
Tootie.
day in October 1929, fortunes were lost.
Let him stop right there. All right, so we talking about 1929, y'all, right? And it's the reason why we doing this because it's important that y'all understand and see what's going on. Right, so we're talking about the 1929 crash. So the 1929 crash was led by a few things, right? It was led by a few things. Now, what happened was, you had a few things going on, right? The world. Okay, let me make sure I say this the right way. So what happened was, the everyday person had just now got introduced to the stock market. Right? The everyday person had just now got introduced to the stock market. Which means before that, you had just big institutions being in the market. And then after the big institutions being in the market, watch this, a man came along by the name of Merrill Lynch, right? Merrill Lynch came along and said, hey, the big institutions ain't really want to rock with him. So he said, I'm going to create something where the little guy can get in the market. So Merrill Lynch put something together where the everyday person could get in the market because he felt like it was a situation where the everyday people also should be able to play this game. So prior to that, everyday people wasn't in the market. Coming into the roaring 20s, everyday people started getting into the stock market. As everyday people started getting into the stock market, now you had the big boys, and then you had, which was mostly JP Morgan, but then you had everybody else started getting into the market. So as everybody started getting into the market, I realized that's when margin calls started coming along, meaning you can buy a $100 stock if you had $10. So you had access to a $100 stock if you put $10 in. So now what happens is you didn't need all the money to get into the market, right? Now, this went on for a while because the market was now in this phase where the market was hitting new highs at every day, all the time. Now, I want you to think about something. During this era, the Dow Jones was at 371. That was an all-time high. We are currently at about, it was at 371. We are currently now around 43. Think about that. Think about that. All right, Tootie, let's go, because we're going to explain as we go. Let's go.
And fear of financial insecurity rose throughout the United States and the world. The stock market reached its lowest point ever and would not rise to its pre-depression levels for almost 20 years. The Great Depression was not an overnight phenomenon. It was a decade in the making. Though much of the United States economy was healthy throughout the 1920s, the limits on foreign markets, because of their respective national debt, eventually hurt the United States economy. The first segment of the economy to feel the effects of the global slowdown was farming. The demand reduction was so severe that farmers were incurring heavy losses throughout much of the 1920s. The rest of the American economy was relatively strong throughout the 1920s, but by mid-decade, key industries were showing signs of slowing down. The coal and steel industries, two of the biggest parts of the economy, were reducing production, mainly because the nation's railways were not expanding at the same rate. New housing construction, a common indicator of economic health, also tapered off between 1925 and 1929. The slowdown of four industries employing thousands of workers was a warning sign that America's economic boom was approaching an end. However, other industries, especially the nascent auto industry, were booming. The conversion from a wartime economy to a more consumer-centered economy created a tremendous amount
stop
of
right there,
growth
Tootie.
to get these new products.
All right, so here's what's happening right here. You have the economy switching. The U.S. economy is now pivoting. So now in this era, we get into new technology. Now I want you to understand something. And I want you to listen to what I'm about to say right here. Anytime we have a new technology that is positioning itself in the world gets excited. The market gets excited. As the market gets excited, as the world gets excited about this new technology, other pieces of the market, the world must shut down. Okay? Other pieces of the world must shut down. The world has now introduced itself into this industrial revolution where steel, railroads, and cars are now the new thing. Cars represented the first introduction of the 40-hour work week. It also introduced us into the assembly line. Okay? Before there was Ford, and then you had another company called Studebaker. They were fighting for market share. Now, what people don't know is, even during this time, there was actually an electric car. even during this era, there was actually an electric car. Now, what made this so phenomenal too was you had companies like J.P. Morgan funding what was going on. You also had Goldman Sachs, which was a new banking industry that was funding. That's when underwriting came about. So Goldman Sachs became really good because they, if I want to say this right, okay, so Goldman Sachs were two people. It's two different people. Goldman was a more riskier person. Sachs was more conservative. Goldman, watch this, Goldman and Sachs was the first company to underwrite a retail store, Sears and Roebuck. Because they underwrite, and I'm showing you how the market was transitioning. The world was transitioning. So, before, nobody underwrote retail stores because they couldn't tap into what the value was of a retail store, right? But what Goldman Sachs came in, specifically by Goldman, because Sachs didn't want to do it, he had to bring in somebody. And how do I know this? I read the book, The History on Goldman Sachs. That's how I know it. So what they did was Goldman came in and he brought in somebody else who he was real cool with. I forgot the guy's name. And what he did was, when he came in, it made Sachs feel comfortable about making the IPO. The company IPO'd, and when it was the first time ever that a retail store became a stock. So Sears and Roebuck was the first retail store that went on the stock market, which got IPO'd by Goldman Sachs. So once Goldman Sachs IPO'd Sears and Roebuck, the stock went through the roof. I think the first day it doubled. If not the first day, the second day it doubled. After it doubled, they went back and started IPOing retail stores, which is who also later on got Macy's in the game. But their next biggest IPO, watch this, after Goldman Sachs was Woolworth. So two of the biggest IPOs at that time were Goldman Sachs and Woolworth. Both of them were IPO'd and underwritten by Goldman Sachs because J.P. Morgan and none of the other banks wanted to deal with them. So this is how we now get introduced into retail stores now getting IPO'd that was led by Goldman Sachs, which also at the same time something revolutionary was happening because Goldman Sachs, okay, now let me position you here as we position that one thing. During the same time, the First World War started taking place. Okay? So, okay, J.P. Morgan Chase was the dominant figure, but it wasn't J.P. Morgan himself because he had passed away. He had passed away because he was under a lot of pressure. Not saying that caused his death, but he was under a lot of pressure by the presidency around that time. So when he passed away, his son, Rockefeller, was 100% before Goldman Sachs, way before Goldman Sachs. Rockefeller was the era of J.P. Morgan, the son. It was J.P. Morgan. So in that era, you had J.P. Morgan, you had Rockefeller, you had Andrew Carnegie, and you had Cornelius Vanderbilt. Those were called the titans of the time, or robber barons. They were the four men who dictated they were the richest men. They were fighting for the number one richest man in the world back to back to back. The next era came in. This is when bankers actually really took over, because this is when you get introduced to Merrill Lynch. This is when you get introduced to Goldman Sachs. This is also when you get introduced to, this is when you get introduced to Jack Morgan, which is J.P. Morgan's son. Now, J.P. Morgan's son come in, Jack Morgan, because he had his big moment when, okay, watch this. There was another guy by the name of, he was a Jewish guy. I just sent this book to Peter, because Peter is a Jew. And I said, Peter, what you know about this dude right here? He ain't never texted me back. Jacob Schiff. Schiff. All right. Jacob H. Schiff. Schiff. I'm taking y'all on this journey with me. So he was the first person to go toe-to-toe with J.P. Morgan. So at this time, J.P. Morgan was really, really, really dominating the railroad game. Right? Now, him and Rockefeller was going back and forth, but J.P. had the bread. While Rockefeller was definitely into oil, J.P. doubled back and got into, he was the first person to be a conglomerate. Because at the time, what J.P. Morgan did was, he had already bamboozled Thomas Edison out of Edison Electric. He bamboozled him out of Edison Electric. So that became the first thing. Well, the second thing, because he had the bank. Introduction to the Federal Reserve? No. This ain't even about that. This way past that. So then, now once he get that, he started buying up other banks. So his money got really, really big. And so what people don't know is J.P. Morgan and the Rockefellers actually came together because they got tired of beefing. They was like, all right, bro, like, look, let's set this up so we can lock this whole thing up, which is Standard Oil came about. All right, watch this. At this time, J.P. Morgan daddy had done passed away. His daddy done passed away. He left it to him. J.P. Morgan was really like, had an issue with his daddy because his daddy was living by this thing called the Banker's Code, and the Banker's Code almost broke them, and it took J.P. Morgan to actually dig them out of that hole. It wasn't his daddy. It was the Banker's Code. So what happened was J.P. Morgan's daddy was the dominant banker over there, because he's not from America. He's from Europe. And so his daddy went and took this company. He took a position with this company because the man said, look, I'm going to retire in 10 years. Once I retire in these 10 years, I'm going to give you the company and I'm going to give you the money. Well, the dude retired, but he didn't give him the company or the money. And so J.P. Morgan told his daddy, don't never tell me about the Banker's Code no more, because the Banker's Code almost broke us, but I'm going to get us out of this situation. So fast forward now to a situation where America, J.P. Morgan had passed away. America goes into war, but they don't respect J.P. Morgan. They respect the dude Jacob Schiff, because he's the only person that ever went toe-to-toe with J.P. Morgan. Now, J.P. Morgan pockets was so big, he crushed him, but he didn't kill him. He was able to fight his way back. He made some dope, he made some great acquisitions and stuff during the way, and boom, he became the dominant figure. Now, during the course of World War I, watch this. During the course of World War I, this is not all the books and all in one. This is me reading a book, like I just read. I'm a reader. So during the course of World War I, they go to the guy Jacob Schiff. When they go to him, now he's a Jew, And he tells, so the people from England, the people from Europe, London, they're fighting with Germany. If I'm not mistaken, it's Germany and Russia. And they fighting everybody else in World War I. They fighting everybody else. So what he told, I want to make sure I got that right. What he told them was, I will not lend y'all none of my money because I am not, no. He said, I'm not doing nothing going against Germany. Like it was a conflict of interest in what he believed, even though he was living in America. Right? The conflict of interest on that. So because he turned the deal down, they went to J.P. Morgan. The men that built America is good, but that's not this. This a whole nother situation. Yeah, this a whole nother situation right here. This book reading right here. Yeah, this book reading right here. This ain't a show. So what happens is, and we're going to get back into the thing. So what happens now is J.P. Morgan said, I got it. But he tell him, you're down bad for not coming to me from the beginning. Now, at the same time, Goldman is also having conversations with a German bank, which is why him and Goldman Sachs, they had to split. Because now it was a situation where it was either you rocking with America or you ain't. So America put them in a bind and you had to show that you was rocking with America. So Sachs said, yo, here's $100,000 to show y'all what my loyalty is. But then they found out that old bruh was having conversation with Germany. And so that was a division. So the whole company had to kick him out. They had to buy him out. But the dude Goldman was actually brilliant. But his loyalty to, all right. So now, and I'm just telling y'all how this happens. So now now J.P. Morgan's son Jack goes get round up, which a total of $500 million right now, which is equivalent to billions if we put it in today's money. And he funds the war on the other end. But here's how dope he was. Not only did he loan England, the Bank of England and stuff, the money, right? He also double dipped. So not only did he loan them the money, but they also purchased products from his steel company that he owned to produce the things they needed for the war. So he took J.P. Morgan's money and network and tripled it because of the war. So he funded the war, got the money, millions and millions of dollars of interest payments, plus part of the deal was you had to buy the steel from his steel company. Right? So when he did that, it took the J.P. Morgan name and put it back on top. But what it did at the same time was it crushed Jacob Schiff because it showed what his alliance was. Put him out of business. Put his bank out of business. So now you get that. So now you got people, now that the war is over, now the market going crazy. Because America is now, it's going up. It's going up. All right, let's get back into it, Tootie. Let's get back into it. Let's go.
More people than ever before were buying goods on credit. By the later part of the decade, household spending had reduced significantly. While profits were still strong for corporations, wages rose insignificantly. Production of consumer goods did not slow down at the same rate, and like farming, a surplus was being produced by the end of the decade. However, with less money to spend and less willingness to use credit, the high production was unsustainable in the long run. The use of credit was also a significant factor in the growth of another part of the economy, the stock market. In the 1920s, middle-class Americans began investing. For many, investing required more money than was on hand. Smaller investors bought on margin, where getting into the market involved purchasing stock with a certain percentage of the money coming from a loan. An investor could purchase with as much as 70% borrowed money, or 70% on margin. If the investment went up, the margin would be paid back, with the rest of the return going to the buyer. If the investment did not rise, not only was the personal stake lost, but the borrowed money as well, which still needed to be repaid. For many new investors, little research was being done about the companies in which the money was being invested. Such high-risk investments were acceptable if the market continued to rise. But if the market slowed or plunged, many would lose a lot of
Stop
money.
right there,
The
Tootie.
volatility of the market.
Stop right there. All right. So here we go. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now we in the thick of it. So now we in 29. We done went through years. So here's what happens. Remember what they said. The middle of the 20s. And what did I say? I said what? This is when the everyday person starts to get into the market. So now, think about this. I want you to pay attention to the picture we painting right here. The only part of the economy that's not slowing down is what they've introduced, the new technology. All right. So let me make that make sense. This year alone, let me make that make sense. And I'm not saying nothing, it's just me looking saying this is interesting. All right, so this year alone, the Mag 7 is up 75%. Just those 7 stocks. Without those 7 stocks, the S&P 500 is only up 15%. Currently, the S&P is up about 28%. So the new technology, okay, why is the Mag 7 up so much, Trap? Well, because all of the big 7 are the ones who are doing what? Investing the most money in the new technology, which is artificial intelligence. As more people invest into the new technology, the other parts of the market start to fall off. If you notice, they keep saying the rally is broadening, the rally is broadening. How can the rally be broadening if 1% of them, if this part of the market represents a majority of the returns? Not just 1 year, but now it's been 2 years back to back. Let me dig a little deeper on that. This will be the first time in a decade or so, I think since the 70s, that the market has actually given us, watch this, Jose, 2 back-to-back double-digit years and gold hitting all-time high. Okay, back-to-back 20-plus years, not saying it hasn't done it before, but at the same time, gold hitting all-time high. Okay. Okay, what's fueling the market? New technology. I want us to hear something now. Also, as we see the market going, what do we see that is a similar to what we hear on there? Most new investors who are now getting in the market aren't doing what? The research. All they keep saying is to the moon. Everything is to the moon. It's the euphoric feeling. It's the euphoric feeling that I am making money that I've never made before. And watch this. The more money you make, the more risk you're willing to take. You lose sense of risk when you make more money. As a new investor, you lose the sense of risk. You throw caution out the window because you think every investment is as easy as the last one. And the one thing you keep saying to yourself is, this time is different.
Man, you cooking. You cooking.
This time is different. This time is different. This time is different. This time is different. You lose because here's why. Money, just watch this. The idea of making money from people, no matter the class, gets your endorphins going. The idea of making more money than you've ever made before without doing the work that you're used to doing creates a euphoric feeling which releases endorphins, which makes you lose sight of reality. I'm going to tell you why. If you find a woman that you're attracted to, you lose the idea of certain stuff that hey, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, because you're attracted to her. A woman can sometimes be attracted to a man. What happens? Once those eyes start, whoop, once those endorphins start moving, you lose sense of reality. You throw caution to the wind. You be like, hey, I'm outside. I'm going. And I'm not saying that it's wrong or right. It's human nature. Once you get excited, once those endorphins are released, you start moving different. Watch this. The thing about this situation is the economy collapsing is not a rug pull. It's a recalibration of what is necessary. It is a non-negotiable necessity. The economy always has to recalibrate. All right. So what do we talk about here? The introduction to margin. What happened here? They were able to do what? Get into a situation where they didn't have the money. Watch this. They didn't have the money to invest, but because they got it on margin, they were able to buy the stocks with money that they didn't have. The thing about this situation is it went on for years. Now, it didn't go straight up. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, but it went on for years, breaking new highs every day. So now what happens is, remember, you buy the stock with money you don't have, the stock keep going up, you get the profit, you pay off the rest, you redo it again. And so once you see that keep happening, you never feel like you have to be fully invested because the market keeps going up. So I can always invest with money that I don't have. Pay. You know how we start putting the math in our head. 1 + 1 really don't equal 2. It start equaling 6, 7, 8, and 9. But it makes sense to us because we have thrown all logic away. Now you got to remember, you may say, well, Trap, they buying on margin. I wouldn't buy on margin. Remember, this was the introduction to the new investor to the market. Everybody wanted to have a piece of the pie. Why? Because the market became the great equalizer to wealth. And because it became the great equalizer, everybody got a part to play. Okay, well, Trap, how does that relate to now? Because I'm not doing margins no more. You're not. But you are not being risk averse. Because you keep saying, to the moon. And you are now forgetting the signs that are right in front of you. Let's go a little further, Tootie.
The autumn of 1929 was troubling to a greater amount of people than it ever had been. It would only take one particularly bad downswing to cause many Americans a great deal of hardship. The downturn that was even expected by some economists started on Thursday, October 24th. As a significant sell-off got underway, investors were worried that the market would fall too far. To preempt a sharp decline, J.P. Morgan infused a great deal of money into the market. The ploy seemed to work. After Morgan's influx of cash, the market stabilized. However, it was only a temporary fix. The following day, the market closed down again. But Morgan could not bail it out this time. The weekend offered some respite, but Monday saw another downturn. Tuesday, October 29th, 1929, saw the greatest amount of stock trading in the stock market's history. Brokers were selling at massive discounts in hopes of salvaging some money. In the end, it just made it worse. The more people sold at a loss, the more other investors wanted to escape a bad situation. By the end of the day, known as Black Tuesday, the market dropped nearly 12%. Black Tuesday caused great tremors throughout the economy and society. But people and institutions were not panicking just yet. Some banks were forced to close because of the shortfall. As news and rumors swirled about the banking industry's health, more and more people lost faith in their respective banks and started withdrawing their money. The more people that ran to the banks, wanting the money they had thought was unsafe, caused more banks to fail.
Stop right there,
By 1933, more than...
All right, so let's do this. Now I want to talk about something for a second. All right, here's what I want to talk about. I got a question for you, Jose, and I'm being realistic right here. I have no problem with people being in crypto. I love when people are being in stocks because I got crypto too. What do you think happens? Watch this. Hear me out right here. What do you think happens if this happens, the market falls? Where do you think people go to get their money from? So if you invest in stocks and the money starts falling, you got money in crypto, you see the market is falling, what do you think people do with their crypto?
Sell.
What do you think happens to that market now?
And that falls.
Why will people sell? Because they need bread.
Yep.
So all I'm simply saying is, in a market downturn, no asset is safe. Because most people who are investing in stocks and in crypto, just being realistic with you, they not really doing the research and the homework. You got people like Chris Johnson that's really doing it. Like, he really doing his research. He love it. He in it. So he'll, he's in a situation to buy more. But guess what's going to happen? A lot of people who not understanding, like, risk management and doing what's necessary, when they start losing their money over there, they going to start selling their crypto. And when they start selling their crypto, that's going to fall too. And so now you're going to be in a situation where because here's what happens. The same thing that happens here. When people see something running and they have the opportunity to be a part of it, they put money into it.
Yep. And
They not doing the research. I get it. We got the crypto enthusiasts, and this is about crypto or stocks. I'm not talking about either one.
Yeah.
I'm talking about human psychology right here. I'm talking human psychology right here. I'm not even talking about yes for this, no for that. I'm just saying when the stock market starts falling, because whether we realize it or not, and I'm not trying to put panic in nobody, I'm just saying I'm like, damn, this looks similar right here.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm saying is when the market start doing this, because it becomes a ripple effect. The ripple effect says once the market starts falling, what happens? Same thing that happened in the 2008 crash. What happened? The market start falling because banks was what? Over leveraged. So what happens? When the banks start shutting down, it's a ripple effect to the economy. What's start happening in the economy? Other banks start closing down. Retail stores start closing down. And once those things start closing down, people don't got no money. What you think they about to do to all their Bitcoin? What you think they gonna do to all their stocks? The same thing that happened right here. They start cashing it out. And everything starts to plummet. And the only people who can capitalize on this is the people who sitting back saying, I can endure what's going on. Because this is the greatest time for me to get wealthy again. The problem with that is this lasted for about 18 years.
Sheesh.
The market didn't get back to where when this happened, the market did not get back to the pre-market crash to 20 years later. Now, the great thing about experience is America done put itself in a situation where it shouldn't take 20 years to do it again, right? The average, that was the longest one ever lasts. Anything after that lasts about 18 months, right? So that's about 18 months, 8 months. Remember, the one in the pandemic only lasted for 18 days, right? But what happens is when you don't know how long this thing is going to fall, do you have 18 days in you? You talking about the market dropping 13% in one day. I can guarantee you the average person, whether you in stocks or crypto, you don't got a 13% in one day type of heart.
DMs blowing up.
We
what you gonna do?
We talking about like,
Yeah.
we talking about in September, we got like 9% in a month. And we was like, sheesh. You talking about 13% in a day.
Yeah, they was panicking then.
I'm telling you, in September, you got 9% in a month. So that was in a period, that was in days. You talking about one day you wake up, open the bell, bing, 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 bing. Whoa. And here's the thing what happens is when the market starts doing it, they do what's called circuit breakers. So circuit breakers is when the market shuts down for a certain amount of time to allow the market to chill out, right? And then it'll open market back in. If the market's still free falling, they put another circuit breaker in place. 3 circuit breakers in a day, they shut the market down for the day. But here's what happened. When they come back the next day, they do it again. During the pandemic, we got 3 circuit breakers back. We got 2 days of circuit breakers in the pandemic.
Bro, I ain't never heard of that.
A circuit breaker happens when the market is falling down so fast, they stop it. They just stop it. Hey, ain't nothing happening here. They stop it for about 15 minutes to try to let the market calm down. And then they open everything back up. And then the market starts falling again. If it don't regulate, they stop it again. If they do 3 circuit breakers in one day, they just shut the market down. What? No. So that's a rule because all of this happens. So remember, we talked about this earlier. You learn from experience. So the goal is not to let the market plunge. So that's what JP Morgan tried to do. Now, what they didn't say, I don't know if they're going to say it yet in here. What happens is the reason why he influxed the cash in the market, remember, at this time, he was the big dog. He was the guy to go to for the banks. So he got with some bankers and they flushed some money in the market. Hey, yo, I think they came up with like $25 million. They put the money in the market like, all right, this good. But what happened was now, when you start, remember, now you start letting individual people, we're not just talking about bankers. Now you're talking about individual people who see the market is going down. What's the first thing they want to do? Get out. So now they getting out. So what JP Morgan went to the people and said, hey, so at this time what they should do is they should just close the market down. Shop closed. What he said was, hey, do not close this market. If you close the market, tomorrow is going to be worse. So they injected the money in. The money was cool. They had the weekend. They came back Monday, start selling again. Because what also happens is, in this type of environment, people now are ready to get their bread. And so now, we're not just talking banks, we're talking everyday people. And here's what I need us to understand. They know, they see what's happening in the world. They gonna position themselves. And it happens so fast, the everyday person don't have a chance. Think about what Robin Hood did with GameStop. They shut the whole platform down. They shut the whole platform down. And don't think that they won't do it again. Put in a position. I just told Bernard this earlier. You put people in a situation to pick you over them, they're going to always pick them. You know why? Because self-preservation is the law of the land. So Robin Hood said, hey, shut it down. Now you on Robin Hood like, hey, man, my Robin Hood broke. My Robin Hood broke. Hey, my Robin Hood broke. My Robin Hood broke. Shut it down. You was a millionaire one day. By the time they turned it back on, all the people had done got their money out. Now who left holding the bag? All right, let's go a little further, Tootie. Hold up, before you go. Stop right there, stop right there. Look at this, what it says. More than 9,000 banks failed. Okay, let me say this right quick. I'm not trying to scare nobody, but here's what I need everybody to do. This is real talk right here. 1, get you a safe. 2, get you a gun. 3, buy you some gold. 4, put you some liquid cash in there. In your safe, you need to have your favorite your documents that you need, your pistol, your gold, your silver, and your cash. Do not flash it. Do not flaunt it. Don't post it on Instagram. Do not flash it. Do not flaunt it. Do not post it on Instagram. You need your important documents. You need a safe. You need some gold. You need some silver. You need your gun. And you need some cash. This ain't cash that's going in the bank. This cash that's going directly in your safe. You put a little bit in there at a time. $10, $15, $20. You just let that build. You don't worry about it. Because you don't want to get caught trying to run to the bank to get your money. Let me tell you why. If they do a bank run and everybody running to the bank to get their money, who is the... Okay, watch this. If I know the world is in a panic, now I'm going to put you from a criminal perspective. I'm going to just put you in survival mode perspective. If I know 9,000 banks just shut down, I'm at the back of the line, and I already know the bank ain't got my money. Guess who got my money if the bank ain't got my money? Whoever come out that door.
No, all you got to do is put that jelly donut on them. Put that jelly donut.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Jose. Okay? I need you to understand this. I need you to understand this. In opportunity of a bank run, if you go into the ATM or you going inside a bank to try to get your money, and I'm at the back, just look at this picture right here. Look at this picture right here. I can promise you, you already know for a fact they ain't got your money. So everybody that come out that bank with an envelope, gonna get envelope.
Lunchtime. It's definitely lunchtime.
So you wasting your time. You wasting your time. All right, let's go a little further.
Banks had failed. Spending had already been slower, but now with entire life savings wiped out, discretionary spending was non-existent. Businesses were starting to lay off large numbers of workers to reduce the losses they were beginning to see. As the crisis deepened, citizens called on the government to do more. The ideas that had dominated American thought about the relationship between the economy and government were now viewed as outdated at best and dangerous at worst. More than any other person in the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt and his New Deal fundamentally changed the United States government. The financial collapse of the United States spread around the globe and deepened crises all over the world, particularly in Western Europe. The continent was still recovering from the First World War when the Great Depression unfolded. The new Weimar government was dedicated to democracy, but new, darker movements spread throughout Germany as circumstances continued to deteriorate. Eventually, Germany was consumed by an evil that plunged the world into its largest war ever.
All right. So So here's what I need us to look at. I'm not saying that this is about to happen. Right? I'm not saying that this is about to happen. What I am saying to you is this. We understand that a new technology has entered the game. That new technology has been driving the market. And we can look at companies like Tesla and say, do the fundamentals represent a company that should be up 90%? I'm not saying not to make money on it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when we look at Tesla, we realize that it was down the first half of the year. At max, it was down 23%. With declining profits and declining car distribution, does this look like a company that should be up 90% with what it has going on? You got a company like NVIDIA, who is still a solid company, but then you got other companies that are now creating their own chips now. Which means those are doing what? Declining. Margins are declining. Still great company, still solid company. All I'm saying to us is, we can get so caught up in seeing everybody making money. We can get caught up in seeing the market running, to where we forget that the market actually has to recalibrate. Think about this. Last year, the market was up 20-some%. NASDAQ was up 30-some%. You see the same thing this year. You got companies up. NVIDIA was up 200% last year, 100-some% this year, 160-some% this year. It just went into correction tour. Meta was up 80-some% last year. It's up 80, 90-some% this year. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's about to happen today or tomorrow, but I'm just saying that it is a time where we got to say to ourselves, at what point does a car run out of gas? And do I want to get left in the car when it runs out of gas? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's about to happen tomorrow. I'm not saying it's about to happen. I'm just saying it's okay to run your bag up and then say, let me be a little cautious. Now, let me double back and let me give you an idea about something. Typically in December, here's a stat that I got for y'all. Typically in December, the first half of December, the market gives us about, I wrote this down today. For the first half of December, the market usually gives us a loss of about 0.8%, almost 1%. That's the first 2 weeks. Use the second 2 weeks of December, going into the first week of January, it usually gives us a gain of about 1.7%. This is on average. But something happened this year that don't usually happen. Within a matter of 1 week, we got back-to-back days of 20%. Well, it's not back-to-back, but it was in, like 1 day here, couple days here. That never happened. We had 20% days in the month of December. It's something that never happened. Let me say it again. Typically, in December, which is usually an up month, you usually get almost a 1% loss in the first half week because you're coming off what you're coming off. And then the second 2 weeks of December, going into January, you usually get about 1.7%. And that last week, you get what's called the Santa Claus rally, right? But the difference was this time we got 20% days. 2% days. said 20%, I'm tripping. You got 2 days where you almost got right at 2%. That's interesting. And at the same time, watch this. The Dow Jones is on a 9-day losing streak. It hasn't done that since 1970. Yeah, I meant to say 2%. I apologize. We had 2% days in December alone. Again, I'm not saying it's about to happen tomorrow, but what I am saying is, now watch this. Also, we see inflation is in a way rearing up. So I wrote something down, right? Watch this. The value of trading assets in U.S. banks account for $1 trillion for the first time since 2008. Let me see that stat, Tootie. I think it's called Hungry for Wealth or something. Did he send that? Not that one, go further. He should want, it should say, I don't know if he sent it, maybe he sent it, he didn't. I know I gave it to him last minute because I was doing that research. It may say Hungry for Wealth or Americans Want More Wealth or something like that. He didn't send that? If he don't, it's my bad. But while we here, I want you to see this. Watch this. Put that on the screen right there, Tootie. So look at where the money going at right now in America, right? Total deficit just 2024 increased, right, by almost a couple trillion. So watch this though. Social Security, 1.45 trillion. Interest payments, almost $1 billion. Medicare, almost $1 billion. Department of Defense, almost $1 billion. Medicaid, $619 billion. Veteran Affairs, Department of Education, refundable tax credits. Other revenue, minus $255 billion. Corporate income tax, minus $529 billion. Watch this, payroll. Also, let's not forget the fact that the Pentagon can't account for $19 billion. Where that went at? Yeah, I said trillion, 1.45 trillion. And then I came back down and said 950 billion. Watch this. There's also a stat that says right here that Americans plan to spend 68% more money than they spent the previous year for this holiday. Okay, so let's make that make sense. We are already understanding that people don't. We are understanding that people don't have the money, but yet they're about to spend 68% more than what they have. Okay, let's make that make sense. If we go back to the roaring 20s, what happened? People were spending money that they didn't have to invest in the market. They're using the market as a way for them to play the wealth game with money they don't have. With people spending more money this holiday season, and we have unemployment that has increased. Consumer debt is up 1 point something trillion this year. I think the average household right now has about $20,000 in debt. And is behind 30 days at least on one payment. The average household in America is behind at least 30 days, at least 30 days on one bill. All right, let's go a little further to it. All right, go a little further. So look, at the 230 mark, we're going to go to the recession portfolio. We just cooking right now. We just teaching right now. We're going to show you the recession portfolio at about the 230 mark. Go into some old stats. Go again. All right, right here. That's the one I wanted to show you right there, Tootie. Americans are getting hungry for wealth. That's the stat I wanted to show y'all. Right there. That's the one I wrote down. Where it said that, right here, it says that since 2019, stocks, bonds, and other assets held in bank trading accounts have surged by $400 billion or 67%. The largest increase has been in equity holdings, followed by asset-backed securities. JP Morgan alone now has $506 billion of assets in trading accounts, accounting for 50% of the entire industry. The bank trading assets have risen by $177 billion year to date. Here's what I want you to understand. In the financial crisis and where we are now, they are similar. This is not me trying to scare you, but I will say it behooves you to disregard this information. I'm not saying that this is about to happen now, but what I am saying, it behooves you to not pay attention. Okay, let's double back and think about what we heard in the brief documentary. In a brief documentary, what did we see? We saw people doing what? Spending more of their money. What was happening was every dime they got, they was putting it in the market on, watch this, on stocks that they couldn't afford. Because remember, they was buying it on margin. So they wasn't even buying the whole stock. They was getting it on consignment, saying, well, if the market go up, I'm going to let the profits pay for the stock and I'm going to pocket the rest. So it actually put them in.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
So remember we say this, y'all. History does not always repeat itself, but it rhymes. I'm not saying do it tomorrow, but what I am saying is let's just start preparing so that we don't get caught off guard. So when people start, and listen, I know people gonna come for me. Hey, Trap, what you doing now? What you doing now? And I'm gonna simply say, sitting on all this money. Sitting on all this money, letting it fall, playing a few puts here and there. You know what they're going to say? Where you at now, Trap? Where you at now, Trap? And I'm going to simply say, sitting on all this money. Because guess what? On the other side of this, I might be a billionaire. Because guess what's going to go on sale? Everything. At least I'm going to go for 100 M. And my goal is to not let go of anybody in my company. That's our goal. Because y'all gonna need us more than ever then. Y'all gonna need us more than ever. So as the CEO of a company, I have to prepare. But watch this. As the CEO of your family or co-CEO of your family, you also need to be preparing. So what do you need to be doing? You need to be doing what? Getting rid of as much debt as you can. That's why we talked about that. Everything led up to this. That's why I've been talking about. Why do you think I came out to y'all? Why do y'all think we came up? Why do you think we talked about paying off debt with the market? And you know why? Because watch this. Watch this. Even in a recession or in a down market or a market that's getting crippled, guess what? The banks want their money. The credit card, Visa want their money. Student loan people want their money. Mortgage people want their money. And guess what's going to happen then? People going to sell their Bitcoin. They're going to sell their stocks. They're going to sell everything that ain't bolted to the ground. I'm telling y'all, and it's not as easy to endure as you think. Everybody's saying, I'm going to buy more, Trap. I'm going to buy more. It's hard to buy. Watch this. Listen to what I just said, y'all. The average person is at least 30 days behind on at least one bill. And that's without the market being in that. Don't never say what you ain't never gonna sell until you in a situation. I promise you, you're gonna say screw Bitcoin and them stocks, them people say that house no do, and your kids it's between your kids and that Bitcoin. Or them kids in that stock, you gonna sell it. You a line of truth ain't in you if you say that, because survival is the #1 goal. Because we don't know how, think about that thing. That happened for 20 years. The 2008 crash, when the market, that happened for 2 years. That happened for 2 years. Took people out. It took some people 10, 15. Some people still ain't all the way shook back. They're like, hey, bro, 2008, 2009, crush me. Can you, think about this. I just want you to say something right now, real talk. Can you withstand a down market, which also means a crushed economy, for 2 years in the financial situation you're in right now? Because think about this. Prices don't go down. Jobs start laying off. Prices don't go down because people still want their money. Now you need to ask yourself, I've challenged everybody in here right now to ask yourself that question. Can I go 2 years in a down market, in a down economy? For the people that can, man, salute. 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 But I can promise you, 80% of the people in the chat, that's a tough situation. And I'm not saying that talking down on nobody. I'm saying I want you to start preparing, y'all. That's all I'm saying. We can be saying in our head all we want. Yeah, the market going boom because of Donald Trump. Yeah. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Most, so far, based on data, recession happened when you had a Republican in office. Now, I'm not saying that we not going to survive. I'm saying it's a difference between surviving and saying, I'm going to withstand it. Meaning, I'm gonna take things down a bit, but I ain't tripping. Like, I'm gonna take things down. You feel what I'm saying, Jose? Like, it's a difference between saying, yep, I'm gonna survive. We eating oodles, we eat noodles. Like, we ain't. And it's another one saying, like, not gonna withstand it, meaning, like, yep, if it happened, like, I'm still good. Like, we don't gotta really cut back on nothing. Like, I may don't eat DoorDash as much. And I'm not saying myself, I'm saying that's what I mean. Like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna take no trips and all that, cause shit real, but I ain't really tripping. Or it's like, we gotta take some major cuts, cause you gotta go to robbing Peter to pay Paul. And sometimes you ain't got money for neither one of them. That's reality. Look at that. Financial crisis and where we at right now. Let's go a little further to it. What the banks thinks. Here's something that the banks meant. That's a great transition, Tootie. So, the most mentioned words in a not JP Morgan, in what this bank is, Morgan Stanley call was margins, efficiency, consumer strength, China, terrorists, convenience, AI, and consumer weakness. I can have $1 million. I'm still eating spreads. I'm with you on that. Shoot, rabies and rice. Shoot, egg and rice go a long way. Stop playing. Huh? Egg and rice take you a long way, boy. We start eating the sauteed potatoes. Come on, they don't know nothing about the sauteed. I know Jose don't know nothing about that.
Is that like home fries?
I knew it.
Sauteed potatoes sound real fancy for real, I ain't gonna lie.
Fancy. That's the red potatoes, cut up. You wash them.
What is it sauteed in? Water?
No, onion. That's it. And if you
yeah, that's like they eat it for breakfast.
Nah, smothered potatoes.
Smothered potatoes.
Cook them now.
If
you get fancy, you add some sausage or some shrimp. That's a meal.
See, he just said shrimp. That sound like four-year talk
That's
right there.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Boy, your mama cook a big thing of smothered potato. You eating that all day, boy. Don't call me, ask me for nothing. That's a weekend meal. That's a wrap. You eat smothered potatoes the whole day. Don't ask me for nothing. Go in there, fix the smothered potatoes, and use them paper plates too.
You do know my aunt got that little thing under her arm, so she could cook.
That don't mean you can.
I can eat it.
You gonna get from Maryland to here? It's a recession. You ain't catching no. Oh, you be driving. My bad. Gas high though.
I'll take a drive for that. She got that little thing under her arm.
All right, let's go, man. All right, let's go to the next one too. We got one more that's similar to that, right? There we go. Look at my dog. All right. Also, what the bank saying, the biggest tail risk is trade war triggers a recession, Fed hike on inflation, geopolitics, credit event, EM US fund crisis, Eurozone breakup. Now, here's why the trade war is, I'm telling y'all, so I look at things from a perspective that's unlike everybody else. And that's this. We talked about this a while back about the effect that trade wars can have. We talked about this. Once you put tariffs, remember we talked about this. China is what? The largest what? worldwide manufacturer. Once you start putting tariffs on stuff, people start double back putting tariffs on stuff. And who do you think have to take their hit for that? The consumer. Remember, during the pandemic, eggs was up 700%. Y'all don't remember that? You remember when eggs was up? Boy, eggs was, bruh. Eggs, during the pandemic, eggs was up 700%. Okay, next, biggest talk. Fed hike on inflation. So, I saw somebody say, Trap, would they really hike? Yes. The Fed's biggest job. Remember, we got a Fed in the chat. How y'all feeling tonight, y'all? I feel like this is a good. I feel like we teaching tonight, Jose.
4,500 roughly strong.
I feel like we shout out to 40 almost. Shout out to the chat. How we feel? Let's just stop for a second and ask our people how they feel in the chat, man. Let's just ask our people how they. That's a fact. Eggs in 2022 were $15. I'm telling you. I remember I bought it to this company called CALM. I didn't have the Patreon at the time. I had Trappers Anonymous, and I put it in there, and I was like, yo, and that company just did not stop going up. It was an egg company. It was an egg company, CALM. I remember that company, Jose. It just shot up, bruh. Let me see if I remember. Yep, see if I see it on the chart. Yep, Call Main Foods, Jose. Call Main Foods, Jose. I remember that company, dog. CALM. I remember Trappers Anonymous. I put it in there. And it was like an egg company, Trap? I was like, an egg company. And it shot up. Eggs was up 700% during the pandemic, family. It went up to like $15, $17 a dozen. That's crazy. From $2 to $18, $17, that's a lot. All right, so watch this, Jose. So somebody asked, somebody said, yep, they up 87% this year. Stop playing. Right? Somebody asked Trap, would they really hike rates? Yes, they would. And let me show you why. Y'all remember that egg went viral? You remember that? It was just a picture of the egg. It went viral. I was like, bro, why is this egg going viral? It's an egg. Why did it go viral, Jose?
It's literally one of those things where it's the snowball effect. It's like, okay, well, it got to 100. All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going just because.
Oh, that's what people was doing?
Yeah, it's a snowball effect. It's like, think about it, the banana on the tape. You seen that piece of art where they got
well, he
auction.
bought that.
Yeah,
he bought that, and then he sold it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he bought it for $400 million just to bite it.
Just to bite it.
The artist was pissed off. First of all, how you got somebody to pay you $400 million for $40 million, whatever it was, for a banana and duct tape? That's just bizarre.
Crazy. Flash in the pan type.
You remember the dress that you looked at changed colors?
Yeah, it was black and blue for me.
I'm not getting that. All right, so watch this, Jose. So somebody asked Trap, why would they Fed hike rates? So here's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to get a call tomorrow. Remember, we got the call tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Fed is going to hike rates 0.25% because they promised. But we got some wholesale numbers in that showed and some retail numbers in that showed that the economy is strong and inflation is going back up. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to get the rate hike. He's going to commit to that tomorrow. and then we might get about 3 or 4 pauses in a row. Because what they're going to do in those 3 or 4 pauses is they're going to allow the data to say what happens next. And if that data doesn't show, remember, the goal is to get inflation down. So if inflation is going up, it's doing a reverse of what they wanted to do. So in order for it to do what it need to do here, they're going to have to do what? Hike. You know why they got to hike? So you can start spending money. No, hike. I ain't saying cut. I'm saying, no, listen to what I'm saying. You're going to get a 0.25% cut next quarter for this cut. But then after that, you're going to get a pause, because if you don't pause to see what it's doing so that they can hike. I know this is what I'm saying. You're going to get tomorrow you're going to get a 0.25% cut, y'all. Listen to me. You're going to get a 0.25% cut tomorrow. Then you're going to get 4 pauses. And if not, after that, it's a good chance you can get a hike. I'm meaning hike. I'm not saying it wrong. I'm saying hike. I ain't saying it wrong. Yeah, you're going to get a cut. You're going to get a 0.25% cut. You're going to get about 4 pauses depending on inflation. And then if inflation hasn't changed, you're going to get a hike. Because if inflation ain't changing and it's going up, they got to hike so they can get you to chill. You got to start spending money. You got to start spending money. You got to start spending money. So you got to get that. So you're going to give you a 0.25% tomorrow, cut, 4 pauses, and then you might be looking at a hike if it don't change. I said cut, man. Bruh. Y'all listening too slow. Catch up, mustard. All right, let's go, Jose. So somebody said Trump ain't going for that. Trump don't got no say-so over that, y'all. What y'all gotta understand, he don't got no say-so about that. He can't determine that. He can't determine that. He can't determine that. Watch. He can't determine that. If inflation is going up, he don't got no choice. He don't got no choice. He can't determine what them people do. He can get mad. He can fuss. He can threaten. But if the Fed does not see inflation where it needs to be, it is their job to do what's called price stability. That is 2 separate entities. The Federal Reserve is not a part of the U.S. government. The Federal Reserve is not a part of the U.S. government. Yep, he can fire Jay Powell. And guess what happens? The next person come in, they got to do the same thing. You have what's called an obligatory duty. That's what that's called. Yes, you can fire Jay Powell, but the next person that come in has an obligatory duty to do what's necessary. That's what y'all don't understand. He can't just say, oh, I don't like what you're doing right now. People gonna look at him like he crazy. If he gonna fire him, it's time to fire him was right now. But what he said, I'm not, Jay Powell gonna finish his thing now. And he can only ask him to step down. He can ask him to step down. He can only ask him to step down. That's all he could do. Hey, I need you to step down. Man, get out my face. Now, his term is up in 2 years, which means another one gets to come in. He can position somebody to be what he needs. But the Fed has an obligatory duty to have price stability in the economy. That's what he said. I mean, that's what their job is. That's what they must do. Price stability means Americans must have the ability to afford goods and services based on the interest rate. And Jerome Powell said, I got a job to do. We got to learn a little bit more about politics before we start saying what somebody can and cannot do. We got to start understanding that. Stop letting Instagram tell us this and that. We got to start doing some homework so we can start understanding what these roles and positions is. Understanding that these are two separate entities. I've been telling y'all about a creature from Jekyll Island for 3 years now. I'm the first person to come in 3-4 years now. Hey, buy this book, y'all. You want to understand something? Buy this book. It's going to help you understand something. He cannot. The Fed, the person who comes in there, in the Fed, they not loyal to Trump. They operate on a different mission. They're not loyal to no president. They operate on two different agendas. Yours is politics, mine is money. Chill out. Leave me alone. Go over there. Yours is politics, mine is money. If we on the same accord, cool. If we ain't, that's cool too. Why you think the market gets mad or happy based on because can't nobody tell him what to do? The creature from Jekyll Island. I've been saying that before we had Trappin to this. Everybody need to read that book if you want to learn about money. It's the #1 book you need to read if you want to learn about money. You know why? Because who else you need to learn about money from than the people who actually do what? Dictate the money. Read that book. It's a long one. Read that book. Get you a better understanding on how this money goes. The people could care less about the president. All right, let's go to the recession portfolio. Then we go to 1-800-TRAPPER hotline. All right, let's start off. Damn, who did the thing cut off a little bit? That wasn't on you, that was on me. All right, so we got the Amazon play, the ANET play. Now at this point, everything is clear, so we don't got nothing to show no more. So the Amazon play, the app loving play. I think I don't know how I feel about app loving. It be up 12, 13,000, then it go back the other way. It is up a lot, so I don't know. Then we got AVGO, been going crazy. American Express, we like that. The Kava play kind of turned around on us. We ain't tripping though. I got to April, we'll see. Costco play still doing good. CrowdStrike play still doing good. Let's go a little further. The GE play never really got out the gate for us. The Goldman Sachs play is up. The other Goldman is down. Eli Lilly, I might just hold that one to the end of the year and cut it. I think this is dead. I did cut our NVIDIA. We'll get to it. My two Meta plays is doing good. MicroStrategy is doing good. Both of those plays are doing good. We like that. Let's go a little further. Netflix is doing good. So we did cut the NVIDIA. 140 play. You know, it got to like 60% today. And I was like, bruh, I been knew it was there, but I thought it was going to show them. But I'm good. So I'll keep the 130. I'll keep the 150. But I'm not really tripping. I think the 150 call is probably at like 45%. The PANW play went negative today. That kind of made me mad. QQQ was good. SMH, negative. Oh, that's what I sold. I sold the NVIDIA one, both of my January calls. So both of the things that was up in January, I was inside that 30 days. Today made the 30 days. So I was inside the 30 days, and I was just like, all right, I'll just take the L on those two. So we got the March SMH play. We'll see how that rolls. But that's if NVIDIA don't do nothing different, it's gonna ride. SMH gonna ride and die with NVIDIA because it makes up so much of that play. So that one might be a bummer too. Again, Tesla did good. So in total, we still up on, I think it was 66% of our plays based on what we got. 69% of our plays based on what we have up there right now. Biggest L right now is this NVIDIA call. It's about 47% down. At 129 right now, I'm not rolling it down. I do feel, I think it goes up January. It goes up for earnings. I'm not gonna lie. I just see, when I see companies like Apple and I see companies like Google creating their own chips, that's taken away from NVIDIA. Again, today they hit correction territory yesterday, sold off another 2% today. What I will say is I'm not tripping on it today because I felt like this was a profit-taking day. You had a big day yesterday where the market gave us huge. I think yesterday I was up 250 or 270 something yesterday. I think today, how much? Yeah, like 275 yesterday. I think today they took 130,000 back from me, right? So I wasn't really tripping on it. I did feel like, okay, it's a profit-taking situation. And the reason why I wasn't panicking on it, because you got to realize, remember what I talked about. You had 2 days where the market gave you 2%. 2% on, now think about this. On average, the first week of December, the market is negative 0.8%, almost 1%. So for the market to give us 2% days within the first week, 2 weeks of the market, what do you think of people saying, oh, let me take profits right now? Also, you got to realize people taking profits right now, we going to the end of the year. They're going to take some profits. You're going to get that Santa Claus rally to go into the new year. People going to take profits, let whatever ride. They're going to come into that, take some more profits. So I wasn't really tripping on that. The only reason, like I said, I got all those 2 January calls. It was January. I didn't want risk going into it, just proper risk management. I should have took profit. You should have took profit yesterday. You could say that. Anytime, I'm not going to lie to you, anytime you see the market go heavy, like 2% in a day, you can almost guarantee it's going to be a 60% chance that the market going to be down the next day. It's going to have a slight sell-off the next day. Especially toward the end of the year. Like, especially toward the end of the year. Anytime you see the market run up 2% or something like that, and it's toward the end of the year, like December, you can almost guarantee that they're going to take profit. Why? Because you already know that what? Going to the end of the year, it's profit taking. They're going to cut their losses. They're going to take their profits. And you know why they want to take their profits? They want to take their profits because they're going to what's called balance the books. You want to take as much profits as you can toward the end of the year so you can show your fund that we've locked in profits. What I should have showed, I should have showed this right quick. So let me see something. So we got another episode or 2 for Christmas. So let's see. We got the 24th and the 31st. So on the 31st, I 100% have to show, so that'll be our end of the year portfolio, Jose. That 31st, got to make sure we show that end of the year portfolio. We got to show will we close the year out on a recession portfolio? Will we close the year out from buying whole? Will we close the year out on options? And we got to show them our realized and unrealized gains. So I think right now we at 3 million between realized and unrealized gains. We'll talk about it. I know what you're about to say. But also, y'all know that going into the new year, we're going to start the recession portfolio all over again. But Nars, you don't know that. So every year I start this thing over, bro. Every year. So we've been dominating. Somebody asked a question, Jose, why did they sell off NVIDIA and then buy AVG and Marvell and the stocks like those? Great question. Reason why, NVIDIA is up 100. So think about it. Last year was up 200%. This year is up 170-some%. You got companies that are creating their own chips. And remember I said something. Like companies, the XLK play right there. The XLK play right there. It's up $500. Remember that a stock is up 200% almost back-to-back years. You can't expect them to just you know what I'm saying? So you got to think that we got to, and it hasn't, and I've said this to all my people, it hasn't been the same after the split. I hate, and I don't use this word that a lot. I hate when great companies do stock splits, not in a bad way, but after that, you got to be real cautious with how you play options with them like that. What do I think about Broadcom? We done made a bunch of money off that all year. Like, that's one of my faves. But think about Chipotle. Think about, watch this. Think about Chipotle. Think about SMCI. Think all the companies that split it, after they split, they never really killed it. You know what I'm saying? So it's always a thing, man. So anyway, so not really tripping on again. The NVIDIA is down like 45% on that 150 call. I'm not gonna roll it down. If it make a comeback, until the market stops rewarding NVIDIA, I'm gonna keep rocking with it. They haven't really rewarded it. Think about it. It's down 9% this month. Everything else is up. It's down 9% this month. So they really not rewarding it. And if you think about it, since the second half of the year, it's not really up that much. Let me see something. Watch this. Yeah, they really not rewarding it, which is why we've been going other places. Watch this. NVDA. Watch this. Let's just go. So year to date is up 166%. In 1 month, it's down 5%. In 1 week, it's down 5%. In 1 month, it's down 7%. 3 months is up 10%, $12. That's not the NVIDIA that we know. In 3 months is up 10%. That's not the NVIDIA that we know. So they're not really rewarding it right now. But what I will say is, not so much since the split. What I will say is NVIDIA time is next week. Not really, because if you think about it, the last 2 earnings calls, it went down. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to just be mindful. Like, we got to be willing to, what about AMD? Y'all know I do not like AMD as an investment or as an option play. What I will say is we got to be willing to, somebody say don't sleep on them. I'm not sleeping on them. Shit, we had $1 million play on them this year. We ate off it all year. I'm not sleep, but I'm not in love with no company. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't be tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't love no company. I be about returns. You know, so I'm not going to keep on doubling down on a company and I see the market ain't rewarding it. Again, we just talked about it earlier, throwing caution to the wind. You just disregarding because something did something last year and the year before. Clearly, you see the market not rewarding it or not. Will it be like that forever? Probably not. Stop. Let the market show you that it's rewarding it again, and then you know what I'm saying? Let the market show you it's back in favor with the market, and then you go back there. Stop. I'm gonna keep doubling down until no. Why you keep throwing money there when you can go get some money somewhere else? Is XLK a slow mover? It's an ETF. ETFs aren't fast movers regardless, right? So you gotta keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Keep that in mind, man. All right, let's go a little further, man. All right, so here's our buy and hold for the year. There you go. Six Hustlers said it. It's always a bull market somewhere. You don't got to be so in love with NVIDIA. Like, we made so much money off NVIDIA this year. What we double back with? We came and say, okay, let's make some money somewhere else. We made money with AVGO. We made money with CrowdStrike. We made money with, you know what I'm saying? We don't got to be, man, they got 6,000 companies on the market, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not got to be stuck on one company. You know what I'm saying? We got 2 calls in it. I don't got to add no more to it. We're going to make money everywhere else. I got burned by AMD twice. I never trade AMD. A couple of companies I never trade. Yeah, you got to take the emotions out of that, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to, it's just like Tesla, man. When they be the lone horse, and it's with any company. When a company just dominating like that, you got to think about it, man. Like, nobody wants to just be on, let one company dominate. Think about companies like Apple saying, all right, bro, like, what do you think happened with QCOM? Apple said, nope, we cutting them off. We finally did it. Whoop, yeah, killed them, right? We had to die on that options trade. So when Apple said that, that thing went down so fast, I was like, geez, Louise, right? Damn. But what you see? Google saying they coming out with their own chips. Amazon saying they coming out with their own chips. That's money that's coming from Microsoft saying they coming out with their own chips. That's money that's going away from NVIDIA. Yeah, I'm not in love with it either, but 166% year to date. All right, so that's 160% year to date. Over the last 3 months, it gave you 10%, but it had really huge downs. That means it's been outperformed by everything else. It's down 9%. It's down 9%, and since the election, it's down 12%. It ain't been killing it, fam. And it's okay. You made your money, you go about your business. You go up, who up next? Who turn it is next? That's how I look at it. When the market show me is rewarding it again, we'll revisit it. Until then, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. I don't be in love with no company. Me, I be good on them. Like, bet, you know what I'm saying? And I don't be emotional about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even be emotional about it, Jose. Like, I remember we lost money on, what we lost money on? We lost money on CrowdStrike one time, right? It popped for us, then it missed earnings. We doubled right back like a week later, and we hit it a month or two later, we hit it again. Now we killing it with it. Like, I don't be tripping. Money is to be made. It happened to part of the game. All right, let's go. Here's our, we still got that 5,000. All right, so let's go. Here go our buy and hold. We up 53%. We was up at our best. We was at 61%, Jose. At one point, we was at 61%. Yep, KLAC, you know what I'm saying? Burnt us, you know what I'm saying? For real, Double R. Shout out my girl, Double R, man. She hit her goal, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So somebody says it's a good time to DCA into NVIDIA. So it's really called averaging down, but I don't want to average down in an option play on something that the market not rewarding. I'm okay. I don't fight for, you know what I'm saying? So, all right. Allstate cooking for us. Costco cooking for us. Centas cooking. Look at Decker. You know, we actually got the potential, Jose, to leave this year with a completely green buy and hold. That ain't bad. A completely green, listen, a completely green buy and hold. All right, so EME up 31,000, FICO 54,000, Eli Lilly 32,000, Meta 26,000, NVIDIA 163,000, PWR 11,000, VRTX 10,000. We got the potential to hit it, man. We got the potential to hit it. Now, I'm not saying 600 said, look, all that green. Come on, man. Christmas time is here. Come on, man. Now, here's the thing, y'all. I'm not saying NVIDIA is not a great company. It's still a great company. But you got to remember, when you play in the options market, you gotta have a different perspective on what's going on. You can't look at the options market the same way you look at the buy and hold market. Are we still like buy and hold for? Yeah, we love it. I think I own 800 shares of Nvidia, 2,000 and something shares. I think I own like 2,000 shares of it or something. 'Cause let me see. If they did that stock split, we might own like 2,000, 3,000 shares of it. I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying? So we not out of it. We still like it for buy and hold, but buy and hold and how I look at the options market is two completely different things. The options market, I'm trying to make money now. Within 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, 1 year. Buy and hold, looking at it a little different. That's fact. We beat the market 3 years in a row by double digits. I appreciate Six Hustle for giving me that. I appreciate you for that, family. 16% in 2022 when the market was down 16%. We got a 16% return. Actually got 15.59. Last year we had 31%. And this year we had 53%. Come on, Jose.
But see, man, like me, man, I love the game. I love the hustle, man. I be feeling like one of them ball playing niggas, you know.
Come on, I ain't gonna give him the rest, Jose. I ain't gonna give him the rest, Jose. Come on, man. Type in the chat if you love the game. Type in the chat if you love the game. If you love the game, type in the chat, I love the game. If you love the game, in the chat, type, I love the game. You hear? If you love the game, type, I love the game. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? If you love the game, type in the chat, you love the game. Ooh, somebody said, Trap, the AVGO play made over 100K. Yee-hee. Okay, I got to put it out there, Jose, right quick. Jose. Jose, if you made 4 figures with me, put 1 fire. If you made 5 figures, put 2 fires. If you made 6 or more, put 3 fires. Come on, man. Come on. Let's sizzle them up right quick. If you made 4 figures, put 1 fire. 5 figures, 2 fire. 6 or more, put 3 fires. Come on, let's see, Jose. Let's see who really trapping with us, dog. Ooh, we got 6 fires? How much that is? 5 fires? How much that is, Jose? How much 5 fires is? Ooh. There we go. Sean Jefferson, Rodney, Sir James, Rams, King, Don Snow, Charla. Come on. Tiffany Holden. Come on. Black Phoenix. Come on. We just gonna cook them all the steam. Let's go. Come on. Show the fire. Come on. Bernard, you see our people, man? Look at our people in the chat, man. Let's go, man. Good job, y'all. Let's get to our 1-800-TRAPPER hotline, man. We love y'all so much, man. I love the trappers, man. I love the trap.
Yo, Trap, love and life, family. Hey, man, quick question. Me and my sister been trapping with you for some time now. We recently opened up a brokerage account for my pops. He's dealt with annuities in the past, but now he's looking to get into the stock market. So my question to you is, what strategies do you have for an OG or senior citizen?
He was at work. He had to get off quick.
I saw that, boy. So, 1, man, shout out to you and the fam for rocking with me so long. 2, shout out for opening the account up for Pops. That's gangster right there. Nothing like that. 1, I think it just depends on age first. I think age is important. Number 2 is risk tolerance. And number 3 would be goal. Like, what's the goal? And what I mean by what's the goal? Like, What is he trying to do? Because I can't just give you a cookie cutter approach without like adding some stuff, but I'll just, go best from here. Depending on the goal, is the goal to produce income? Is the goal to, depending on age tells me a little more, like is the goal to just have some cash to leave y'all some cash? Is the goal to take a trip? Like what's the goal? That shows us a lot. And then also the next thing would be like the amount. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much is he initially going with? And the reason why I'm asking that, okay, Jose, we got a lot of 4 and 5 figures up in there, Jose. We got a couple 6 figures in there now, Jose. Stop playing now. You know what I'm saying? 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 I told you, Bernard, we got the peep. We got our peep in the game, man. So first is, one, depending on the risk. I'm thinking, he pops, so he may be, I may be mistaken. You looking like you somewhere, you look 30s, late 30s, 40s, right? Late 30s, 40s. So pops probably somewhere maybe 70s, 60s, 70s. So that means pops probably saying, I want to get some bread. He might be like Warren Buffett. He'd be like, man, screw y'all. You know what I mean? Like, he might be on his thing. So that depends. What I would kind of say was, I would get pops in. I would go growth orientated with pops because he probably want to see some cash. But I will go growth that pays a dividend. Right? Growth that pays a dividend for pops. And then I will go option, but only ETF options. I wouldn't go individual stock options. I will go ETF options simply because y'all gonna probably do majority of the teaching for him, the plays for him. Stop playing that, man. I ain't doing that, man. So I'm doing ETF option with him, like the XLK, something like that. And then I would go growth with dividends. So the dividends at some point can produce cash flow that he ain't gotta work for. And growth so he can still maximize on what the market is rewarding right now. So that would kind of be my goal for Pops, man, for the OG, man. Salute to you, King. Let's go.
Hey Trap, what's up? This is Natasha from back home. Thank you for taking my question today. I was wondering, I set a goal for my account earlier this year, and last month or so, I surpassed that goal, but I found that I've become slightly stagnant. And I was just wondering, whenever you initially started and you met that first dollar goal, did you find that you ever experienced any imposter syndrome? And if so, how did you propel yourself forward? And if not, what advice do you have for those who are still new to investing, that have reached goals, but are still kind of on the fence about their belief or confidence in reaching said goals? Thank you for all you do. Thank you for Trappers Anonymous and just for connecting us as a community. Bye.
Natasha, what's good, family? So that's my family that's in Trappers Anonymous. I hate that most of the trappers be saying her name wrong, but I be saying it right. I be saying it right. You hear me? Shout out to the queen. I think that is perfectly normal. As you get acclimated with the market, I think the market can often shock you because first of all, let's salute the queen for hitting a financial goal. Let's salute the queen. Let's salute the queen for hitting that financial goal for sure. Big salute to that. I think that stall us out, Trap. I think that is 100% normal. Because it's kind of like you playing a game and you accomplish the goal, but you like, yo, did that just really happen? right? And so there's a form of excitement and what's this word I'm looking for? Like when you paralyzed. What it is? Not this analysis paralysis, where you believe it because you've done it, but you still are paralyzed at the fact that you've done it. And that's what's causing the stagnation, right? Because you're on the calls, you're playing the game, and then what happens too is things may not always be clicking like you think they're supposed to be clicking. Like in your mind, you might be seeing, and here's what happens, and this is a good thing and bad thing. You could be seeing people in the communities that's clicking, and you start feeling like, why am I not clicking like that? Right? I know she's in the chat. Tell me yes or no if I'm on track with it a little bit. I know you in the chat, Queen. Like you could be seeing people in the community, you like, damn, like, why is not clicking for me the same way? Not realizing that it is clicking for you, but you just remember this is a game that consistently requires us to evolve. I've been in the game. There's people in the game who have been in the game longer than me, right? And they learned from me, which means they are consistently learning. And I've been in the game and I've been successful for sure, but I'm still learning. She was in here. I saw her name. But I'm still learning. And what happens is you understand that the market requires you to consistently move forward from where you are. Remember, we talked about something. 11 puts you in a room with 20. 21 puts you in a room with 30. So what we got to do is we got to be willing to say, I hit a goal. Let me reset. Let me not get overconfident, but let me also be confident. Okay? Let me not be overconfident to where I start disregarding the actual work that got me to hit the goal. Because the one thing that can happen with a lot of people is they can start hitting goals and they start taking shortcuts. Shortcuts will 100%, watch this, build false confidence and put you closer to harm's way. Shortcuts will put you closer to harm's way and build false confidence. So what happens is you're hitting these goals and like, let's say, I made a post today about one of my people, man. Like we sat down, she was like, all right, Trap, like, yo, like, I just came from Kuwait. I'm here. I don't want to go back to work. I said, okay. And we did it in like 20 minutes. I said, okay, cool. You don't want to go back to work? You don't got to go back to work. Tell me how much money you get from the military every month. She said, I get about this much and it's enough to pay my bills. And what I got going on, if I can invest a little bit of this, I can grow it. I said, okay, so let's come up with a number. She said, my number is 200. I said, nope, let's go 250. She was like, all right, screw it. Let's go 250. You the mentor. You say 250, we go for 250. I say, we go for 250, we don't got to work. We can at least buy ourselves a couple years if we go 250. And that's taking into account some things. She hit the 250 the other day, right? And she was like, yo, I hit the 250. I said, bet. The next goal is $1 million. The next goal is not $500,000. The next goal is $1 million, right? Because if we go for $500,000, right, what we doing is we're saying we're going to do just enough to duplicate what I did this year and not exceed it. So the goal for you now, Natasha, is to say, okay, here was my financial goal. How do I not just duplicate it? How do I exceed it? And what happens is when you set a goal that exceeds the previous goal, it pushes you to strive to see how do you become better. That is how you get rid of the imposter syndrome. Because if my people would have said, well, Trap, I'm going to go for $500,000, it doesn't require you to actually grow anymore. It just requires you to do the same thing over again, and that's redundancy. Redundancy gets bored. But if the goal is 250 this year and the goal is $1 million next year, now it requires you to push yourself and learn some more because you want to outdo what you did. That is how you push yourself to move forward. It's not greed. It's just saying, how do I now raise my lid? So that goes back to John Maxwell. John Maxwell has a thing talk about leader of the lid. And he said, if your lid is this, then you'll never exceed what your lid is. The goal is to raise your lid. And if you raise your lid, it requires you to do more than what you've already done. Not from a physical perspective, but from a learning perspective. Why? Because the byproduct of learning is increased accomplishment. Jose, you ain't even write that down, dog. You tripping, bro. Well, my dog is Sean. Sean, he done wrote that down, dog. Come on, bro. This is why everybody is essential to the program, bro. You got your head down, locked in, and you ain't even be able to A Sean would have been like, ooh, come on, man. The byproduct of more learning is increased accomplishment. Man, let me write this down myself, man. Because Jose just slipping, dog. Is increase. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you do it, beloved. What you do is you don't set a goal that requires you to do the same thing again. Because, watch this. When we do the same thing again, it becomes redundant. And redundancy does what? Makes us feel inadequate. We get bored. Right? You can get the job you always loved and the job you always wanted, but if they don't do something to excite you and make you feel like, hey, we moving forward, redundancy makes you say, man, I need a new job. It makes you say you need a new job. So set a goal that requires you to outdo what you did this year. So if the goal was 10,000, all right, my goal for next year is 50,000. Okay. That requires you to be something different. It requires you to learn more. It requires you to work on patience. So now the goal, prime example, my people that did the 250 this year. If the goal is to do 500 next year, all she got to do is repeat what she did, right? But if the goal is to make $1 million, now what it makes her do is go see where did I mess up at? Even though I hit the 250, what were some of the plays where I let ride a little bit too long? Some plays that I didn't do all the homework. Some plays where I made a shortcut here and there. Some plays because it happens, right? So now it makes you go look at the flaws and fill in the gaps. Come on, man. Come on, Jose. Come on, bro. We cooking right now, bro. This nigga's cooking. I'm in the skillet, dog. Oh, man, I'm in the skillet. Everything. All right, let's go.
What's going on, Trap, bro? This Nick, you heard me? I'm gonna try to be quick. So look, I've been in the financial sector, looking at specifically credit services and banks. Got two companies I'm looking at, you feel me? My question to you is, what are some of the key metrics to look out for when checking out the income statement, the balance sheet, and the free cash flow? Appreciate y'all for taking my question, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate that 100%, bro.
For sure, man. I love when the home team call in, man. Shout out for representing that work, man. So one of the things for credit services, you want to look at recurring revenue, right? We want to look at what are they getting from recurring revenue model, but also what are the fees they're charging on that? You want to know that. And for banking, you want to look for net income margin. Net income margins. That, when you're looking at banking sector, that's what you want to look at for sure. You cannot look at return on investment capital for banking because their product is money. So one of the things you also want to look at with banking is, watch this, how much money are they making off the interest from loaning money? That's going to be essential for you, right? So you want to look at recurring revenue model for the recurring revenue, and when you're looking at the recurring revenue model, actually you want them to show you that You want to see how long. Okay, let me break this down a little bit better. For credit cards, recurring revenue model, but also you want to look at what is the fees that they are making, right? For maybe, and with the bankings too, late payments, things like that. Also, you want to look at what is the churn rate for the lifespan of a consumer on that credit card, right? So they can tell you how long does the average customer stay with them. You'll find that in the 10K, and go check out that proxy report too. That's gonna be really good. And then for the banking, you want to look at those net interest margins, and also you want to see how much they are making from that arbitrage of what they get for loaning money out, right? That is important. You can't just look at the ROIC because their product is money, right? And they can be misleading on that. Great question, family. That's a money question, yeah. All right, let's go.
Thanks for taking my question, Jose. So, Trap, I was wondering, when you find a company that's in super growth mode, but they don't meet all of your metrics to invest, which one of those metrics are you willing to forego in order to move forward with investing in that particular company? Thank you.
So this is my girl, man. This is my girl. So she is one of the lieutenants, and Trap is anonymous. So brilliant. Between her, Chelsea, Lieutenant Casey, our girl Jacqueline from Cross the Pond, Queen Tori. Nat is freaking amazing. I'm talking about super brilliant. All right, so what one would I be willing to disregard based on it being in super growth mode? Yes, sir, Nick, for sure, baby. I appreciate you, brother, for always tapping in. Watch this, Nat. I will be willing to disregard price and power. It's a few I will be willing to disregard. Okay, so the question is, if a company is in super growth mode, if a company is in super growth mode, which one of the metrics that we live with? Chelsea said, I didn't know what she looked like. Which one will we be willing to overlook based on it being in super growth mode? I'm about to say something. One would be debt. I would be willing to disregard the debt if the company, watch this, I will be willing to disregard super growth mode if I can see they are consistently increasing revenue, right? If they are actually increasing production and making up market share. Here's why. If you go look at CrowdStrike does not have the best balance sheet, but they consistently increase revenue and they consistently take market share. Think about this. Tesla, they only came profit a couple years ago, but they were consistently increasing revenue, increasing production, and dominating market share until they became profitable. So I will be willing to give up a little debt, right? I'll be willing to take on a little debt because they're in growth mode, right? But I will be willing to also give up the pricing power component because that's important. That actually sets up a moat, right? Pricing power sets up a moat, but because we're in growth mode, I'm not looking for them to have as big of a moat. I'll be willing to give that up if they are doubling market share, revenue, but also I would have to see at what's the margins that they are beating earnings. I need them to keep on beating earnings, right? Because that lets me know that they are using the debt to fuel growth. Instead of just taking on debt to take on debt, the debt they're taking on is fueling growth, but also, let me add a little more to that, Nat. I want them to have a profitability date. It can be 2 years, it can be 3 years, it can be 5 years. But if they give me the date, now I can measure, is the debt increasing? How's it increasing? So now I can look for when that turn gonna start, right? So they say we're gonna be profitable in 5 years. I know somewhere around 2.5, 3 years, I can start seeing that debt decrease because it's gonna turn around. So giving me a profitability date helps me measure how the company is moving forward. So it's not a cookie cutter answer, but it's a great question, but a question that allows me now to go in detail, right? So if I can see that I'll give up, okay, let me backtrack it so we can have it in context. So what am I willing to give up on a company in my metrics? So this is a Trappers Anonymous question, not so much as a Patreon question. Trappers Anonymous questions because they actually teach. We teach over there. So, what am I willing to give up with my metrics in order to invest in a company that's in super growth? So, I'm willing to give up debt because most companies in super growth mode need debt to fuel the company. Now, what I will say, Nat, is this. I'm willing to give up. Ooh, that's so good. Ooh, that's one of them good questions. Chelsea, she did this on purpose. Chelsea, I need you and Nat to start, I need y'all to start asking questions too. So I'm willing to give up a few things. And watch this. Because they're in super growth mode, they're not going to have the cleanest balance sheet because they're going to use debt to grow the business, which I'm okay with. I'm giving that up so they can use the debt to fuel the growth. But I need the growth to be pushing revenue. I need the growth to also be beating earnings. I need the growth to also give me a profitability date at some point. Now, and taking market share. On the backside of that, watch this. I'm not really so much going to focus on pricing power. I can give up that, and I can also give up, watch this. What's going to make sense to me, though, is the net margins, because the net margins going to tell me how much of the revenue is profit. But remember, they got debt. So if the net margins going to tell me how much of the profit is coming out of every dollar bill of revenue. So for every $1 they make, the net margin is going to tell me how much of that dollar is revenue. Even though they're not profitable, even though I'm taking on debt, I still have a portion of every dollar that has a profit tied to it, even if the profit got to pay something off. So I need to know how much of that profit, how much of that dollar is equal to profit. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I like that. If anybody asks me what's the difference between Patreon and Trappers Anonymous, Patreon, you just get the plays. Trappers Anonymous, we actually teach not only myself, but people like Chelsea, people like Tori, people like Lieutenant Casey, people like Natalie, and Hashim, man, Big O, so many, Jacqueline, so many people outside of So many people outside of the lieutenants, all of them. So, yep. So if you want to understand how to actually invest and learn, Queen Tori, we get you in that 30-day challenge, the game changer. All right, what we got, bro? So that was good. Great way to end that. Great way to end that. So I hope that this episode was one of them ones where you feel like you got to go watch it again. You got the book club in there. And we also I put up at least 5 stocks in there every week. But it comes in different forms. It comes in Moat Monday, Ticker Tuesday, ETF Wednesday, ETF Thursday, Drip Friday. And sometimes when I do miss, my lieutenants cover my back and they got the book club. So yeah, they go crazy over that. And we do the live from the kitchen every Sunday. And so you get to see how companies are broke down from your peers. All right, so tonight's episode was about the down payment for your legacy. And I think one of the biggest down payments that you have to pay to create legacy is your ability to understand the playing field. Legacy cannot be created if we don't know what instruments we are using to create the legacy. While knowledge becomes the seed, the profit is how we reap the harvest. Knowledge becomes the seeds, but the profits are how we reap the harvest. And the profit isn't always a cash reward. The profit on knowledge is understanding how to be positioned well. The profit on wisdom is seeing a situation play out and learning from experience where you should be at. The profit on information used wisely helps you understand what season you're in so you understand where to be. Go and look at the data like we did tonight, right? Go and look at the data and saying, hey, this is how I use this data and it's how this data positions me to be better in this coming season. So I can see that history not just repeats itself, but it often rhymes. That doesn't always come in the form of money in the beginning, but money can be the byproduct of it, and the byproduct of that is how you create legacy. And tonight I want to ask yourself 3 questions that you put down tonight. 1, what is your Isaac? What is your Isaac? 2, can I go 2 years if the market was to go down now? Like if we woke up tomorrow morning and boom, we got straight to it, where would you be at? And 3, am I truly measuring the risk where I say I want to go, or am I just going blindly? Those 3 questions are legacy moves. Because what those 3 questions are allowing you to do is take a financial analysis on where you are. Because the worst thing that can happen to all of us is us not understanding where we are financially, and then the world goes through this financial shakeup and we ain't prepared for it. Hear me and hear me well, y'all. It has to recalibrate. It has to recalibrate, y'all. And true, we not going nowhere. We gonna be here. And we gonna help you navigate through it. But man, it's so much better when we can get ahead of this thing. Again, I'm not saying it's gonna happen tomorrow. And guess what? I know I'm gonna take the blunt of a lot of criticism. They gonna be looking for all kind of, hey, Trap, what you doing here, Trap? I don't care about all that. My shoulder's built for that. But I want to make sure y'all money right. I can deal with it, y'all. God bless me. Yo, we all right. I want y'all to have the same type of confidence. I want you to be able to say, I ain't selling my Bitcoin. I ain't selling none of my stocks. I'm just going to reposition what I got going on. I'd rather you be in that position and you know for a fact you don't got to do it than to you be guessing that you got to do it, knowing that, man, I only got $500 saved. I only got this here. I'm barely making it. I am the person that's 30 days behind on at least one bill or two bills. We got to have a real financial conversation with ourselves. That's the only way we can position ourselves to be great. And I'm going to tell you something. And if you in that position, now is the time to start. Don't try to go crazy for income tax time. Don't try to go crazy for Christmas right now. Income tax coming. Let's focus on paying these credit cards down. Because guess what? Listen, house note, house note, student loan, we can work that. But we got a bunch of credit card bills. We got a bunch of unnecessary debt that we don't need. Yo, it's time for us to start paying that down, because guess what? That's the money you can be using to invest. And guess what? When you pay one bill down, don't think that's free money. Now that money got to be used to pay the next one down. Double up. If you spending $100 a month on one bill, just because and $50 a month on another bill, now we taking $150 and put it on this one. And we pay that one off, we taking $200 to pay on this one. And we pay that one off, we taking $250 to pay on this one, until we can get it all the way off, because now we got a whole another $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 to start moving around. Telling y'all, episode 123, we gonna revisit this one. We gonna revisit this one. And guess what? The other thing we need? Now we need to start doing what? We need to get our safe. We need to get our gun. We need to get all our important documents. We need our gold, our silver, and our cash. Listen, we got work to do, y'all. We got work to do. And we don't get it all at one time. It don't happen overnight. But guess what? If we chop in the tree every day, ain't got no other choice but to say what? Timber. If we chop in the tree every day, we got to chop that financial tree so we can build our financial art. I want all us to win, y'all. If somebody could come home from the military and hit a financial goal, if somebody come on here and hit their financial goal, there's no way in hell all of us can't do that. Ain't none of us different. The only thing that differentiates us is some things are must and some things are shoulds. Some of us saying this is what I should be doing, and some of us saying this is what I must be doing, and there's a few of us that's saying this is what I gotta do. This is what I am doing. It's necessary that I do this. You don't sit here for 2 and 3 hours every Tuesday not to be in the same position, y'all. Come on. Come on. Let's go, man. Trappin' Tuesdays, episode 123, man. It is in the books. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Jose, 3 hours and 30 minutes, bro. It's crazy. Let me ask y'all a question though before we go tonight. How did y'all like that video? Because Jose, what I might be seeing right here is if we can not get demonetized, it may be something we can bring back a couple times.
We do a lot more reaction videos and stuff, so yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It may be something we can bring that because I got a lot of knowledge on it. So I can easily, do it in real time. That may be something that we can really do during the show, bro. It's not really cool. That's really cool, you know what I'm saying? All right. Also, man, I just want to say, check out Trappin' Tuesdays. Listen, bro, for 2025, Jose, we got to push our people to download the episode. What rank we is right now? Tell them right now. What rank we is? They need to know so they can understand how they ain't serving.
I can find it in about 2 seconds, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
Let us see right quick. Like, we need to let our people know where we rank that so they can understand that, like, we got to do better. We got to do better. Right? We got to do better, y'all. So I need y'all to start going on Google, Apple, and just downloading episodes, y'all. Just download them, y'all. That's the only way. Listen, that's how we show the world who we are. Right? That's how we show the world who we are. Also, man, get your Trapper Apparel Inc. I say get your Trapper Apparel Inc. Get your Trapper Apparel. Do we still got the code?
I've been fighting for it in the last 5 minutes.
Man, we need to bring our code back. Bring our code back. Man, bring our code back. Man, it's Christmas time.
It's Christmas.
George, the people just gave you a whole birthday gift. You, in the morning, use code GNM40. GNM40. Use that code, man. We using that. We using that. We using that. In the morning, y'all. In the morning, it'll be ready. Call Elise. GNM40. She got one coming. Yeah, GNM40. Yeah, we need that. GNM40. Oh, y'all want a coffee mug? Where my coffee mug went at? Oh, y'all want some coffee mugs? Y'all like these? We got some coffee mugs. We can get some coffee mugs. Also, man, let's hold on with the tattoo. I don't know about that. Yeah, man. That's in the morning, GNM40. We doing that. Let's download as many. You ain't get the number yet? You said 2 seconds, cuz. Anyway, man, I'll see y'all next week, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We out, man.